Yeah, we're just dealing with downstairs, so we could start. Okay, sorry. Okay, Nick, are you guys going to go live? Okay. We're ready to go live when you're done.
Welcome back, volleyball fans. We have had a phenomenal weekend, lots of great battles, and an amazing showing for the first event of the NVA. And we are here for the final one this weekend as the Matadors and Southern Exposure get ready to battle out. But before we send it over to the action, we're going to send it over to Victoria on the sideline. Victoria, take it away.
Thanks, Nick. We're wrapping up opening weekend here for the NVA. Matadors taking on Southern Exposure. You, the Matadors, had an amazing win last night. How do you feel coming into tonight's match?
Pretty good. I think we're riding that wave right now, and guys are ready to go.
Absolutely. Do you have a certain type of offense you would like to run against Southern Exposure?
Southern Exposure is pretty technically sound, so I told them let's keep it to the basics. Let's run our high ball. Let's take care of business up high.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
All right, well, there it is. We're going to see these, offensive schemes unfold. From the side of the Matadors, we saw a very pin-centric offense with a nice sprinkling in of the middles with Martin Patrice, number 15, someone to watch. On the side of Southern Exposure, a very jump serve heavy, pin-oriented team. So look for some offense there from the middle, or from the setter, number 15, Derek Sullivan. Honestly, the matchup between these two, I would be surprised if we're not going to 4 or 5 for the final one here.
Yeah, this is definitely two very evenly personnel teams.
Yeah.
Height-wise, ability-wise, I think this is going to be a bit of a drag-out fight, I think.
Absolutely.
And yeah, Nick, I'll agree. I do expect this to go well into the night.
Yep.
Probably at least 4 sets.
Yeah, and I think that no one at home is complaining. What better way to end a great weekend? We got work tomorrow, so before you get back into that Monday grind, let's celebrate with a nice exclamation point on the weekend.
Yep.
But we also do want to give a huge shout out to the Pierce Sports Center. They've hosted us all weekend long out here in San Bernardino, California, with a great facility, and they've been supporting the players, making sure they're safe, and taking care of us. We cannot thank them enough. Also, a huge shout out to Mikasa, the proud ball sponsor of the NVA. Great support. We got plenty of V200Ws all over the court, making sure that teams warming up are able to get, ready to go for these matches. Would not be able to make this all possible without you. Thank you so much. We're seeing the teams start to line up. We see for the side of Southern Exposure, they are opting into a couple different personnel changes. We're going to see starting on the outside, number 1 is going to be Tyler Hubbard-Neal, and opposite of him, we're going to see the first start of the weekend for Eddie Mushikian. We got Tim Lurich on the middle, as well as Langston Payne. Derek Sullivan rocking the hands, and that's going to be number 5, Johnny Gomez, in the libero, of course, with Cisla on the right. So a lot of the same faces we've seen all weekend long. On the side of the Matadors, no real surprises here either. You're going to see Patrice in the middle. Opposite of him is going to be Brent Massetti. You see Jesus Serrano's got hands. His younger brother, number 13, Carlos Serrano, as the 0-2, number 12. That's going to be Mauro Isaac on the outside. Had a phenomenal weekend so far. Make sure to keep an eye, though, on number 17. Had a phenomenal match last night. That's Jacob Vanderbeek. And, of course, Jose Malero, number 11 in the yellow. First serve here tapped over, and that's a great pass by Gomez. Backside to Cisla, chips that one down the line, not quite able to find it.
Jacob Cisla is going to be an important player tonight, Nick. I think that that's not indicative to how he's going to go through this match. Your first swing of the match, and it goes just wide. I think it was just a slight misconnect here. So here's a Serrano jump serve, hard serve, passed it by Gomez. Free ball coming. A little bit of a down ball, dug up by Malero. There's Vanderbeek with the right side attack. Dug up by Gomez again. Tyler Hubbard goes cross court, dug by Malero. Sanchez out of the back row for a kill in transition. Excuse me, Serrano out of the back row for a nice kill in transition.
That's a huge big run. Love to see that early. I think it's just an obligatory statement you and I must say every time. Establish your middle, establish your big, get the middle of the court under control. great way to start the match for the Matadors there.
Yeah, absolutely. A hitting error and then a nice transition out of the back row for a 2-0 lead.
Big swing by Serrano, great pass by Gomez. Little 30 route there for Mushikian, sends that one long. In case you're curious what a 30 is, it's a quick back row attack that's spaced out between the middle of the court and the left side. It's basically an inside A-ball. A great way to create a little bit of a gap against the blocking scheme. So nice little route there from Southern Exposure. Serrano hammers that one home, but once again goes long. Derek Sullivan, the hands steering the ship, has had a phenomenal week and a very aggressive offensive setter. Nice jump serve from him. Morrow Isaac puts them in system, goes up, and that's a high hands. That's going to be a net, though, against number 1, Tyler Hubbard-Neal. Pushing into that low seam, he catches some net there. Morrow Isaac's first serve in the net, little uncharacteristic there. He's been extremely consistent all weekend long. Doesn't quite get that one to go his way. Looks for a good pass to make that one back up. And there's that pass a little bit off the court, but a nice bump set goes to Serrano. Good dig by Gomez. Mushikian in transition. Serrano tracks down the dig, and a free ball from Malero. Gomez back in system, and Langston Payne high over the middle. You know, Langston Payne doesn't always get the contact he wants, but he is such an aggressive, high-flying middle that it really changes the point of contact, and sometimes just dropping that in the middle of the court is the most lethal thing he can do. Yeah, Langston Payne can really fly. He can get up nice and high as long as he's early and ready to hit. It's going to really challenge the defensive players on the Matador side. Hubbard-Neal able to get one serve before missing there, so that's manageable. It's definitely a good way to get a real point. Patrice likes to work a long to short float, so that one goes short and catches Gomez on his heel. One of the best serving middles, right up there with, I think, some of the your stingers, the Rusty Levi and Alex Shmelevs. Patrice very consistent, gets that ace. Yeah, we saw him last night. He got quite a few points as well there too. Goes deep now, finds Mushikian. Hubbard-Neal goes for that back pick, sends that one just long, but Derek Sullivan, determined to get these back row guys activated early, is definitely going to be a good look once they start finding that court. Yeah, kind of a little early action to sort of establish their offensive prowess, right? You know, seen a couple of hitting errors already early by Southern Exposure. There's another one. But again, I talk about the importance of knowing where points come from, and I think we've seen it a couple times, like with the Stunners earlier on this weekend. When the passing is there but the hitting is not, that's when I'm least worried, I think, as a coach, because hitting will come. If your passing is struggling, that's a lot harder of a problem to fix and far more critical. You know, these guys just missing the court, they're just getting recalibrated, finding it and dialing it in. It's just a matter of time before those balls really start to land, and I think Southern Exposure is going to find themselves just fine. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Nick. You know, it's if you have the good passing going on early in the game, that's sort of your foundation, right? Offensively, you're totally correct. There's a lot of variables going on there. You've got blockers in front of you, your body positioning, how high you're hitting the ball, the speed and tempo of the set, the location, all those things factor into it. You know, you're right. It's called recalibrating, kind of getting it going. You know, they've had a nice warm-up. We had sort of an extended warm-up because the previous match got done pretty quickly. And I do expect to see the hitting lines definitely take a change for the better here so far. Yeah. So if during that technical timeout, if I'm in Southern Exposure, I'm making sure do not stop swinging. That's actually the worst thing I can think that can happen right now is those guys stop going for those aggressive swings. Just keep that machine rolling, focus on the pass, and you're gonna find your success. But for a little more insight, Victoria, what do you got?
Southern Exposure needs to establish their middles early. They need to do this as well as stop number 17, Jacob, As you can see, he's swinging high and hard. He had an unreal night last night and led his team to victory. The Matadors as well would like to establish their middles early and often so they can open up the net for Jacob. Nick, back to you.
Yep, thanks so much, and reiterating just how much of a threat these pins are on the side of the Matadors. They've really just stepped up with going the Morrow, Isaac, and Vanderbeek trio. They just are a lethal combination for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see who steps up tonight to sort of counterbalance Vanderbeek's performance from last night. Okay, Vanderbeek went off last night, player of the match, right? But someone on the Matadors has got to also fill in the Batman and Robin role, the sidekick role kind of deal.
Absolutely. Derek Sullivan goes up, and that's a big jump set connection with Tim Lurich. There's that middle established, couple big attacks from the back rope, not quite finding home, but you love to see that look for Tim Lurich as he makes his appearance there. Also worth noting, we got Matadors are going with Mario Meza right now running that 2 libero system, so Malero off the court. That serve goes long. Cecil not quite finding the swing he wants. A little bit underneath that toss. Nice pass by Hubbard Neal, and there's the dump from Sullivan, but Vanderbeek all over it. Bump set here by Mario, and that's going to be sent long on the attempted control roll shot there.
Yeah, unfortunate miss hit there. Just tried to slow his arm swing down a little bit and didn't quite get on top of that ball as it sailed out through the inline.
Jesus Serrano is definitely interesting in that sense that when I say offensive setters, no one's quite as offensive as he is. He's ready to take full swing, so definitely keep an eye on that. We saw it last night, and we're going to see it more here. Good pass by Mishikian. And Tim Lurich getting activated once again, swings through the double block of the Matadors. Great pass, all starts there with Eddie Mushikian.
Yeah, Lurich, a little bit maybe undersized in terms of comparison to some of the other middles in this conference, in this league. But if you're up early and ready to hit and you've got that established connection with your middle, you could be 6'2" and still have success as a middle hitter. Absolutely.
Nice pass here from Serrano. Middle connection to Patrice, and as long as there's no touch on the net, that's going to be a point for Southern Exposure. Tim Lurich, another one of those very successful serving middles. He's gotten multiple serving runs under his belt, as well as multiple aces. He loves going to zone 5, targeting the front row outside with his jump serve.
Yeah, front row outside hitters always a good serving target. Try to take them out of their approach line.
Vanderbeek gets that high tool. A little bit of a head drop there on that blocking move. Lost sight of where that one was going.
Yeah, as soon as you drop your head, your hands tend to come back. They kind of turn more into targets than they do, obstacles for the hitter. So that's a type of situation that you don't want to do as a blocker.
Mishkian airs that one out. Now Hubbard Neal going to clean up the trash as he swings off the outside hands of the block there from the Matadors. Tyler Hubbard Neal, someone that didn't quite get as many looks back in November in Utah, was a constant for them coming off the bench, doing a great job. So great to see him being so successful here in the starting lineup now. Sullivan missing his second jump serve of the match. Right now we're seeing Southern Exposure battling with about 5 missed serves early on in this. So that's definitely going to be one thing for them to clean up, and that is the difference in the game right now.
Isaac serving now. He had a great match last night. Key role player for the Matadors in that victory.
Nice pass by Gomez. Tried to be saved by Sullivan. That one kept tailing a little bit. Gomez almost had him. They've been, the Matadors have been very aggressively targeting Gomez so far, and they're doing a pretty good job getting him out of system. They've already aced him once, and arguably a second ace there.
Yeah, basically an ace. You're right.
Going to be a step close, a little bit of miscommunication. Nice hand dig there from Serrano. Over from Mesa. Gomez takes the free ball. And that's going to be a kill from Cecil getting a touch off the block.
Yeah, Vanderbeek's block there just not quite formed where he needed it to be, and Cecil took advantage. Chiseled that ball off of Vanderbeek's forearms for an easy point.
Cecil, another guy that was behind Joe Norman and Relia Speller last year, but doing a great job here. Chip down the line. That one goes wide. A nice blocking for him. No disagreements from the guys on the floor. There was a definite touch there called by our down ref. Saw that one happen.
Yeah, good view by the down ref there to catch that, because I don't think the lines judge caught that. I certainly didn't see it.
I didn't see it. It was a very, very small one with that controlled swing. Mushikian misses that. Serve and pass right now is the name of the game, and that game is being won by the Matadors. They really are a dynamic serving team. They've got guys like Isaac and Vanderbeek that hit those big jump serves. Same with Serrano. But then you've got the likes of Martin Patrice that goes that back and forth. You know, Vanderbeek will also hit a float serve. You see their setter, Serrano, more than happy to hit a variety of serves. So it really puts a lot of pressure on the serve receive of Southern Exposure, and any team on the opposite side of the net. You've got to try to create a semblance of normality, and right now they are struggling to do so.
Yeah, you're seeing a little miscommunication too between Gomez and Eddie Mushikian. You know, he didn't play much last night. He came in as a little bit as a substitution, but getting the starting role, I think there's just a communication breakdown on who's going to take what seams, right, on their serve reception. So, you know, Ontario Matadors putting some good pressure on them from the inline and their service game. So, you know, we'll be interested to see how Southern Exposure responds to that.
Yep, and assistant coach O.J. Catalan is not here, but head coach Tony Glessner is, and Tony's got a lot of experience coaching at Michigan. He's a very, you know, big student of the game. He knows how to manage his guys, so that's a huge advantage with the Southern Exposure roster. Expect them to start shoring that all up. Michigan's going to step close. Great move by Serrano, but he gets lit up a little bit there, and that's a great way to answer back from that timeout. Still a little bit of out of system swing, but Mushikian doing a nice job to get it done. Good pass by Serrano. Nice tip over the top. Bump set back to Vanderbeek, goes high. This is going to be Hubbard Neal bump setting all the way out. Mushikian once again going for that swing. And Hubbard Neal showcasing a great amount of control. That might as well have been an in-system bump set from across the court.
Yeah,
Mushikian ready to step close too.
Nice swing by Mushikian. He got it down the line seam on Vanderbeek. A three-man block needs to get all the way to the antenna next time.
That's a little Serrano to Serrano connection, but that's a Southern Exposure block. Taking care of it right there. Shuts that one down. We're seeing a little life
Lurich,
now coming back.
Lurich getting a nice little blocks. A couple of key plays there, creating a little excitement and some momentum here for the team in the light blue and the pink.
Vanderbeek goes back and Mushikian answers back. Double block, back-to-back shutdowns.
Eddie Mushikian, smallest guy on the court.
Yeah, another big glass player out there in Florida. Definitely a guy that knows how to show and take.
Stat sheet has him at 5'11", and he's gotten 2 straight blocks and a kill, one block and a kill.
Yep.
To help his team get back within 2 points here. We saw him more as a substitution last night, coming in for Lev Gershfeld. But tonight, obviously, he must be feeling good and ready to go, and he's making his presence felt early on here.
You know, and I want to speak that. So much of the time I hear about height being a limiting factor, and of course there's a certain bar at which,
Hold on, I never said that.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying in the volleyball world, I hear so much that height is a limiting factor.
Yeah.
And to me, I look at guys like, Jose Molero, one of the shortest guys in the gym, phenomenal libero. Don't want to play libero? Fine, I understand. Look at Eddie Mushikian, a guy that is almost looking through, the bottom of the tape essentially. He's significantly shorter, but his determination to be a student of the game, be a refined outside, just shows that, guys can make it work if you want to.
Yep.
And you can play at a high level. So don't let, for the young players out there, don't let height be a deterrent. If you want to make it happen, that's on you. Vanderbeek goes for the float to Mushkine with a great pass. Once again, a little off speed from Lurich, dug by Mesa. Big attack from Isaac, uses the outside hand there of the block and gets a nice point. Vanderbeek extends his serving rally here, doing a nice job just controlling this float, finding his targets. Hubbard Neal with a good pass. Ooh, Serrano just a tad late, but makes a good move. If he's a second earlier there, I think he funnels that right back into the court.
Yeah, that was a nice move by Serrano. Just a tiny bit of a reach out, and if he can go straight over, he's going to get that block for sure.
Nice serve by Cisla. Serrano to Serrano. Good block touch covered by Meza. And that's going to be another terminal block. We are seeing the block right now of Southern Exposure do a great job. They're closing seams, getting over the net very consistently too. We've just been harping on this all day. Get over. There's so many big moves being made, but they're not over the net, and we are seeing that executed so well right now.
Yeah, Lurich is doing a great job. I think that's his second or third block is through this series in the front row for him.
Sullivan lays out for Hubbard Neal. Back set to Serrano in the opposite way. We always say Serrano to Serrano as number 1 sets 13, but in this case, we see the brother of number 13 dishing it back to number 1. And there's that offensive threat we talked about early on as Jesus Serrano gets the big kill. Nicely controlled by Meza. There was a lot of chaos going on. Libero gets in there front row, keeps that one alive and lets the boys swing. Gomez airs it out very well, and Lurich gets involved. Meza makes a punch dig, but sends that one back. Can't quite control it forward. Lurich is having a fantastic match right now.
Lurich is making his presence felt by far. Really coming in clutch on his blocking so far and offensively. And then also from the inline, when he gets that opportunity to serve, he's gone on a little bit of a run.
It's so hard as a middle blocker when you get 3 rotations to be able to make everyone kind of talk about you and feel your threat, and he is absolutely in there right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Ooh, there it is, Brent Massetti. Cuts that back, goes thumb down, beats the block of Lurich.
We didn't see Massetti last night either. We saw a different middle blocker, number 8.
Well, 8 started and Brett came in halfway through either the first or started the second set.
Gotcha.
Hubbard Neal going one on, oh, that was 1 on 2. Nicely done by him to manage. Back set to Vanderbeek, and Vanderbeek swings wide. There's a triple block set up there, no touch found. Southern Exposure really wanting to sell out and make some big blocking moves and help slow these big pin hitters down on the side of Matadors. Serrano high in the middle of the court. Morrow Isaac takes advantage of that and goes to that hard angle and picks on Lurich back row there a bit.
Just like a freight train coming in hard and heavy, thundering that ball cross court. Lurich had no chance of digging that as it ricocheted off his arm and is unreturnable. So nice swing by Isaac.
Serrano hammers that hybrid, and it's going to be a 50-50 ball. Good thing Sullivan front row. Hubbard Neal saves this one, controlled by Meza. Quick to the outside, chopped down the line, dug back row by Cisla. Hubbard Neal looks for the recycle, and now Mushkine on that 30 route. And Sullivan able to poke that. That ball is absolutely on the plane of the net. Definitely not over. That ball is 50-50.
Yeah,
good move by Sullivan.
We had a perfect angle on that view.
Yeah, that was
ball
as
was
disciplined as it
definitely
gets.
right on top of the net.
Serrano goes back to Patrice, and what a way to answer. Don't worry about the call when you can make a set swing play like that happen. Huge 3. a nice 3-point lead here as well for the Matadors. So just stay in your game, stay in your lane, and make sure your guys are ready to battle. Nice swing targeting Gomez, but he's able to make it happen. No touch there. Mushikian opting once again for that 30 route. They kind of run him on a swing a little bit out there coming around.
Yeah.
But he's just not finding that luck. I'd like a little bit of a different set selection right now. Look for something more consistent.
Yeah, you got some good hitters in the front row right now as well. You look for them to be your first option.
Hubbard Neal puts it up. Quick set to the outside, and Cecil tries to control that, but this is a tough rotation because both of your pin hitters are not in their natural rotation, so that's where Sullivan's running into a little bit of a problem. The big thing right now is take care of a pass, see if you can get your team back in system, maybe run a nice 3 with Langston Payne, pull the middle, and then throw it back to Hubbard Neal for a one-on-one.
Yeah, rotation 1 is usually kind of tricky, even though you got 3 hitters. Oh, the double tickler. The rarely seen double tickler.
The bounce, fall.
For game.
That's a momentum killer,
Wow.
but Matador's happy to take that one for sure.
Insult to injury on that one. The double tickler for an ace, and the set victory goes to the home team, the Matadors.
Yeah, and I think the big takeaway here, really, the name of the game for me is the missed serves early on from Southern Exposure. They just kind of put them behind the 8 ball, and they were trying to climb up a hill that was a little insurmountable there.
Yeah, missed serves and also a few too many hitting errors.
I agree. We were hoping that they were going to just rotate out of that and just kind of find their system, but still just a couple too many. We see Ceaseless chipping that one long at the end of the game out of system. Mushikian swings long.
Yeah.
I think they had 6 or 7 long swings and then 5 or 6 missed serves.
Yeah.
That combines for 12, 13 errors on your side. So
Yep.
it'll get them. But I mean, we're still seeing Southern Exposure definitely going after it. And they got 4 or 5 terminal blocks there. If they're able to keep that going, clean up some of the other little mistakes they're making, they're right back in
Yeah,
this.
I think the bright spot for Southern Exposure was number 8, Lurich.
Yeah.
For his blocking, I think he came in, he got maybe 3 blocks, probably 1 or 2 kills. Went on a nice couple service runs there. But he's going to need contributions from everybody else defensively, right? Scoring those block points, and then conversely, kills from the outside. Not so many hitting errors.
Yeah, I think right now, I don't know what their goal is based on their lineups. I know Mushikian hasn't played a whole lot, so maybe they're trying to give him a nod. But I think Lev Gershfeld's had a fantastic weekend right now, and he might be the guy. You got to pick up. This is going to be one of those tight wins that near the end of the season is really going to matter for seeding, and if you make it into that the playoffs. So this is an important one for Southern Exposure in their first weekend to make sure they get.
Yep.
They already took down Stunners this weekend, so coming off this with another win right here is going to be a big one for them.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think we may see a personnel change. It's 50-50 here.
Yep.
It's hard to tell what's happening, but
they're both in that limbo of
yeah,
hard to see.
Where.
Certainly going to see the rest of the squad the same. It's just a question of does Gershfeld go or Mushikian. On the side of the Matadors, don't anticipate many changes. Actually, it looks like we might see Gilberto Sanchez, number 8, returning in the middle there instead of Brent Massetti. That's something they've kind of messed around with all weekend long about who's going to be getting that nod as well. So
yeah.
we'll just keep an eye on that one. They've been a little interchangeable. The real all-star in the middle over there so far has been Patrice, and definitely someone to keep an eye on. So the other one's contributing, but they're just trying to find any given set who's going to work for them. And there's the curveball. Actually, it looks like they're gonna start both of those middles and not Patrice. Give him a little breather here. He's played every point that he could as a middle so far, so understandable as well. Mushikian also on the side of Southern Exposure going to be heading back. We see number 9 making his debut here for the Matadors. That's going to be George Cabrera. Unsure if it's George or Jorge or what he goes by. From San Diego, played at Grossmont College before heading up to Long Beach State. Anyone unfamiliar with the San Diego Community College circuit, pretty well developed and a very competitive little circuit down there. Not surprised he was able to head to Long Beach State after. Hubbard Neal resets the play, goes back to Cecil. Nice chop, but dug deep in the court by Vanderbeek. Huge swing in the angle dug by Hubbard Neal, and we've got some game ball touches over here in the scorer's booth.
Isaac really just unloading on that cross-court kill right there. He's an explosive athlete.
Serrano having a little bit of trouble getting the serving plane off the ground so far. Hubbard Neal trying to apply that pressure, hopefully not an indication of the serves to come though. Southern Exposure definitely to make some adjustments on that serving plan. Hubbard Neal, one of the guys you definitely want to be able to have as a green light server though, hitting every serve because he really puts pressure on him.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the guys that does have the constant green light to hit his serve as hard as he wants.
And there's Cecil definitely willing to hit that front row swing as hard as he wants. Goes into the deep seam, well hit by number 14 in blue and pink. Langston Payne, a float server, likes to target the front row outside. Had a little bit of trouble sometimes with his float serve and sometimes the selected guy to get a serving sub. Backside from Vanderbeek, and Mushikian finishes that block move facing you and I. That's where that's going to funnel through. Just got to get square and over the net.
Yeah, nice attack line by Vanderbeek. And not really probably the ball that he wanted to swing on. It was a little bit off the net. I think he ran under it, but he made a good adjustment and still scored the point.
Brent Massetti for the jump serve here. Rolls that one in, and Hubbard Neal with a great pass. Mushikian now swinging, but dug by Isaac. He goes for a bick there, but they were more than ready. Mushikian ready to step in next to Lurich. That's a great double block. Victoria, this one's unfolding to be pretty explosive. What are you seeing on your end?
Yes, the Matadors are continuing to be aggressive at the service line, as their coach said. They also said that they wanted to change their lineup a little bit because they know Southern Exposure knows their tendencies. So they don't want to be as predictable as you may think. Nick, back to you.
That's really interesting. It makes a lot of sense, but interesting to hear a coach kind of counter-coaching in the sense because I think they've been scouted, and it makes sense. You know, there's plenty of footage at this point in teams also that play similarly to Southern Exposure. If they watched that Blaze Matadors match last night, it's pretty easily extrapolated to see how you play.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that there's going to be a similar game
Well, in
plan.
order to prepare the best way, you know, prepare the best strategy that you can, you have to know your opponent.
Yeah.
It's one of the first rules of, you know, any type of competition. And
Yeah.
so know your opponent, and if you have some things you can throw in to maybe throw off those strategies, you got to take advantage of them.
Meza with a good pass. Gilberto Sanchez swings to the corner. Love to see that. Also speaks to the faith of the coaching staff to believe in the solution to counter scouting is to use their bench and being confident that the bench can get it done. So definitely a big plus for the side of the Matadors. Lurich with a high swing, block touch, a little miscommunication there, but Meza able to set that up. Doug in the back row for Southern Exposure. And Hubbard Neal now with a big swing. Meza makes a good move, but not able to find that one up. Mushikian with a big jump serve. Good pass by Meza. Goes to the middle to Gilberto Sanchez. Doug. And now Hubbard Neal takes his turn to get a swing. That's a huge dig in transition right there from the side of Southern Exposure. Eddie Mushikian stepping in.
Yeah, nice dig by Eddie. A great swing in transition by Tyler.
That one sails long, but once again, Southern Exposure doing a nice job of, you know, they've done a better job of managing when they're hitting their serves right now. So even with the misses, if you're up, that's the time you're going to miss them, not trying to scrape back you know, from a 4-point deficit. So
Yeah, absolutely right.
we'll see Cabrera now with his first serve, goes for the jump, a little off kilter, but finds it in nonetheless. Now that swing from Neal gets shut down. Gilberto Sanchez working with Jesus Serrano. Great block. Love to see that. The depth coming off the bench, not taking any time to get involved.
Yeah, nice block back there. Being involved from the beginning of the match and get inserted into this set.
Ooh, the deep dump. It's going to be sent over here by Sullivan with a chop short. Resets and Hubbard. Neal bangs it off the hands of the block there. One hand over. Gomez resets, and that's going to go outside deep to Hubbard Neal, and he's trying to manage that swing. A little bit of a missed set by Sullivan.
Yeah, a little misconnection. Tyler Hubbard came in for sort of the go set, and Sullivan sort of gave him a high ball, and results in a hitting error for Southern Exposure.
Matadors definitely knows their opponent. We saw Jesus Serrano talking to Mario Meza saying, watch for the dump. You've got a front row Sullivan. He's going to do it. We know it's coming. Lurich rolls over the top. Vanderbeek more than happy to put the Matadors back in system to run Gilberto Sanchez. One of the most, if not the most, defensively skilled opposites in the league. Number 17, Vanderbeek. Not the guy you want to target with tips and rolls.
You watched him last night playing defense. He was all over the place, sprawling, diving, digging the hard-driven balls, sitting in there, just taking whatever got hit at him, and then probably taking a couple more that no one thought he would actually get to. So I don't know how many digs he finished with, but it was probably a pretty good amount.
It was notable. When you start to really pick up on a player being exceptional at something, that means they've done what's required and then doubled it usually. I mean, he really went the distance, so.
Offensively as well, he carried the load and did a great job.
I think we said 14 kills from him last night in 4 sets.
Yeah.
If you're averaging over, 3 to 4 a game, that's definitely nothing to scoff at.
Right.
We've been saying a big, huge thank you to the Pierce Sports Center, also the local club giving us a lot of support this weekend. We want to say a huge thank you to the Rancho Valley Volleyball Club. If you're new to volleyball and want to find out what it's all about, your juniors can get involved with an 8-week program beginning April 28th, and it runs through June. For more information, check out RanchoValleyVolleyballClub.com. Huge thank you to all of them helping us out this weekend. Good. There's the dump that the Matadors were just talking about. And Serrano points at his guys saying, hey, there it is. Yep. We knew it was coming. We've seen it all weekend long. Lurich with a big jump serve. Great pass by Meza. And there's the big swing from Isaac, but definitively and quickly called out there.
Yeah, just missed it out of bounds. That set didn't quite develop, probably right into his window, but he tried to force it down the line, and unfortunately it was wide.
Good disciplined block there also from Sullivan, not to reach outside of his body, take what he wants there. That's the hard angle, and make Morrow make a play. Lurich hammers another serve home. And Gilberto Sanchez running that back one. That's a phenomenal set option right there. When you've got 2 front row hitters between Gilberto Sanchez and number 12, Morrow Isaac, when you run that back one, you spread your entire offense on the width of the net. You open up a lane for the Bick through the middle, and you're really making the middles from Southern Exposure make some decisions. Sanchez sends that jump serve long, but looked pretty good, just didn't quite go his way.
A good miss, an acceptable miss.
Yeah.
When it's a nice toss, he got after it, good contact, just missed it out long past the end line by less than a foot. The bad misses are the ones that just get buried into the middle of the net.
No chance to see it stay alive. Another close one. I mean, we harp on the missed serves, but these guys are just barely missing the end lines right now. We'll look for those to be dialed in. Now, Serrano, I believe, has put 2 in the net so far, so I want to see him find this first serve, open up a rally for the Matadors. There it is. But Langston Payne ready to take advantage of the easy float serve. He runs a fantastic 3-ball that just gives such a huge setting window for Sullivan to get involved there. Neal goes off of his float serve. I love his jump serve, even if he's missing it. I don't want to see him play it safe for that float. Miss your jump serve, not your float serve.
Yeah, and the server just before him missed his as well. So that's back. If he's staying down because the guy before him missed his serve, then the guy before him should stay down, and Tyler Hubbard should hit his jump serve.
Yep.
And that's got to come in from the coaching staff.
Yeah, it's all about that server management, knowing your role as a server. Can't think about always what your best serve is, but what the team needs and when they're going to need it. Langston Payne gets the job done, though. Puts that one in, gives them a chance to play. And Brent Massetti just barely missing the hands of the middle there, Tim Lurich.
I think Massetti needs another 1 to 2 ball widths higher on an attack, and he would have gotten it into the court.
Especially with the size mismatch against Lurich.
Yeah.
There's the high set to Vanderbeek, but nice dig by Langston Payne. Hubbard Neal lays it up from Mushikian. Dug off the shoulder there of Serrano. Free ball in, Sullivan's out. Langston Payne airs that out high from Mushikian to get a swing. And good chase down by the Matadors, but a great rally. Southern Exposure really, really taking advantage of some great hustle by their defense there. Love to see the Faith to just run the same lineup back, and this time we're seeing a significantly different output, so good for them. Good block touch reset by Vanderbeek. Chopped down the line, but Hubbard Neal read that one like a book, and Lurich in transition. You always say it, if the middles are willing to work hard, reward them for it, and there it is. Lurich putting the backpack on right now and carrying the team.
I like saying Lurich's name. It means he's making an impact and really getting some good production out of him. Southern Exposure, they're all kind of rallying around him too. He's really the one guy that's being a standout for this squad.
Absolutely.
And everyone's sort of jumping on his shoulders, and he's doing just fine carrying his team.
And you know,
to 4-point leads right now.
You and I always talk about the smart swing for middles is when they're able to swing deep, you're going to really mitigate the ability for the defense to touch the swing. Tim Lurich instead using a lot of active hitting lanes, going front to back, being very mobile laterally, and just thumping balls around blocks. And it's a very easy way for guys to get amped up and excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely the spark plug that Southern Exposure needed after that first set, you know, kind of got away from them.
Hubbard Neal playing some great defense all over the court as well. So when you just see those rallies extending with Gomez and Hubbard Neal just going after it, it's only a matter of time until their points start to score. Another just miss. But you know, we've been, I think, accurately critical of Langston Payne serving throughout the tournament. But you know, day 2 and most of the match so far, he's really done a good job of shoring it up, been a consistent, just putting him in, letting his guys play, so well done. Unfortunate miss out of the timeout, but big swing into the angle. The size of Eddie Mushikian really proving not to be an issue at all.
Yeah, it's talk about another spark plug, right? Anytime Eddie Mushikian gets a kill, you know, everyone's going to get just that much more excited about it because of his height, probably the smallest guy in the court, taking some big swings. Clearly an athletic individual, and he can make it happen. So, you know, good guy to rally around.
Absolutely, and you know, we've been talking about it all weekend long, kind of the rebirth of Southern Exposure. What I think has been so exciting to see in the story of this team is so many of the guys that are really standouts right now are names that you saw on the roster for guys occupying the bench back in November. In front of them was a star-studded lineup on paper that on the court could not make it work. Now, added a couple more pieces, they've get a little bit more time on the court, and we're seeing a gelled unit that really is outperforming anyone's expectations coming back and making a great name for themselves.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. They're really providing a great product. They're you know, bringing some well-rounded volleyball players, high intensity level, doing some exciting things, you know, in all aspects of the game. And we didn't see that in November. We saw a couple of individuals on the team all wearing the same jersey that, you know, really weren't figuring out how to play really well together.
Yeah, and one of the goals of the NVA has been to move away from the bringing together teams of all-stars for events, and instead getting local teams to train together and create a team identity, and they've really leaned into that, done a great job. Nice dig by Hubbard Neal in transition, and Cecil now swinging into the corner, goes a little bit long. He's still trying to get a little bit dialed in. He's the one guy right now that's not quite finding the court as frequently as he needs to. So
yeah,
we'll see that.
If Cecil could become a little bit more consistent, you know, Southern exposure would be that much stronger. We saw him struggle a little bit last night as well. And, you know, he's just not that explosive right now, and he needs to kind of find an extra gear moving forward.
Hubbard Neal with a stutter step takes a good rip nonetheless. Serrano's going to air that one out to nobody. Vanderbeek able to save it. And there's going to be Lurich dug by Vanderbeek. Tight dump comes over, but Hubbard Neal with the disciplined defense puts them back in system. Lurich again in transition. Serrano airs it out, chopped over. And Lurich once again, he's willing to work, but that one goes out. Heads up play from Gomez, the man in black back there. What a rally. Lurich working for it, and once again, you reward the man who's willing to do the work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of back and forth right there, but as the rally goes on, we've talked about it over the weekend, as the rally goes on, you want to end it fast, set quick, you know, catch the opposing blockers on up their heels a little bit and see what you can get from your own middle.
Good pass by Isaac. And there's a big swing, another in transition middle response coming back from the side of the Matadors. Serrano ensuring that his middle and Gilberto Sanchez not to be outdone there.
Sanchez has got an explosive swing. Jumps well, really fast arm swing.
Yeah.
Hits the ball with some velocity.
That was his first impact and impression with his teams. Comes in off the bench yesterday and thumped the ball straight down. Definitely a great way to get involved. Now that backswing from Mushikian, dug by Mesa, deep in the court, good read. Off speed, that's gonna be picked up by Gomez. Cecil with an overpass that's taken by Serrano. Mesa bump sets to him and he takes a rip. Mushikian tracked down by Hubbard Neal, what an effort. But now he's just hustling back to the net. Gilberto Sanchez ends that with a thump, a fantastic audible. They know that after a huge defensive effort by Hubbard Neal off the net, you see Sanchez wants to go with the back one to attack the whole front row. Nicely identified.
Yeah, smart play by them as well, and he absolutely unleashed on that one.
Talk about guys willing to be the spark plug for the team.
Yeah. Find themselves down by 2. They need to manufacture a couple of points here as we get closer to the end of the second set.
Another nice serve, but Hubbard Neal ready to get that touch. Roll shot over the top. Gomez takes it. Sullivan's going to get his feet back under it. Mushikian chops that one wide. He's just not finding the back row options that he needs. I think that's 4 hitting errors so far out of the back row.
Yeah, it's not helping the cause, but the Matadors will take it, right? Yeah. I mean, now they find themselves down by 1, creating some momentum. Front row setter here for Southern Exposure, so their offense is a little bit limited.
Nice jump serve. Hubbard Neal tries to answer back, but the whip of his arm does not quite get over the top, and that's going to be the Matadors tying us up here on the back of a great serving run from Cabrera, number 9. First time we've seen him this weekend, but certainly having a great impact, and that's going to be a timeout for Southern Exposure. Hey, we touched on it briefly. The Matadors knowing their bench and their lineup. We're seeing Malero on the bench right now. Meza having a great match. We're seeing Patrice on the bench. And what do you get? Huge productivity offensively here out of Gilberto Sanchez. And there's a huge serving run strung together. Serrano has been a great serving outside all weekend long. Now we see number 9 on the court picking it up right where Serrano leaves it off. Cabrera having a great run. So this team is showing depth down the line.
Yep, you're right, Nick. Showing some depth, bringing some guys in that have gotten different looks, add some wrinkles to the offense, and it's helping them out.
It's a crucial part of being a high-level team here in the NVA is having more than just 6 guys, not just during matches that go to critical points, but making sure that you're able to train at a competitive level throughout the week. Good pass from Gomez. Hubbard Neal able to get that one off the block the way that he's looking for it. Love the setback there from Sullivan. A lot of confidence in the outside. Man, I am just seeing Hubbard Neal's shoes for the first time, and if that match to the jersey is more perfect, you know, that blue and pink cotton candy mixture there is nice. Lurich hammers another ball home, well passed by Isaac. He goes into the angle. Lurich able to get a nice touch, but just too tight. Sullivan goes up for a jam ball down and not quite able to find it.
Lurich playing some defense. I like the jump serve that he just threw out there and getting a scoop. Unfortunately, just went over the net and out of bounds, but Lurich continuing to make an impact for his squad.
There's a nice swing by Sisla, but handled by Vanderbeek, sorry. Set to the outside, step close from Morrow Isaac, and the huge block of Sullivan and Langston Payne. We have not seen a big block after that really big burst early on for Southern Exposure, so nice to see them shore that up, close it down, and push into the low seam.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see the Matadors come up with that cover, though. That wasn't a very authoritative block.
Yep.
And could have possibly played that up if someone was covering.
Wow, we see Morrow Isaac lays out to the side, gets right back up, and Serrano knows that he's there and ready to be in system. That's a great point, and for a great follow-up point, Victoria, over to you.
Southern Exposure mentioned how they're just trying to focus on their side and their style of play, taking it 1 point at a time and definitely buckling down their defense against the Matadors. Nick?
Yeah, that defense is what they've been doing so well all weekend long, so the more they're able to shore that up. And there's Sisla at a very, very critical time. We've been looking for him to get more involved, and that's a huge swing, especially on the outside rotation, one that can traditionally give teams a little bit of trouble, gets them out early, so well done there by number 14. Hubbard Neal goes back to the jump serve, gets a great result. A one-handed set. Oh no, Gomez not quite able to control the layout dig by Hubbard Neal. And his effort level is one of legend right now.
Isaac just getting on that ball fast, but Hubbard Neal just getting a great scoop too. Fortunately not returnable, but some high-level action going on here between these two teams.
Top spin serve. Pass high in the middle of the court. It's going to be a pin option here. Dug by Serrano. Meza once again bump set back, step close. Good controlled swing, extend the rally. And now Sisla tries for the controlled swing. Meza once again, this one's tight. Vanderbeek goes into the net and under. A little too much there, and Meza doesn't give Vanderbeek many options. So good control, both sides managing their swings throughout the rally very well, looking for an opportunity to pounce. Lev Gershfeld going to come in here as a serving substitution for middle blocker number 16, Langston Payne. At 21-20, Lev's been on the bench now for 2 sets essentially, so looking for him to hit a high percentage controlled jump serve to get it started, and able to do just that. But Eddie Vanderbeek, that's going to be Vanderbeek coming up with a huge swing off the high hands. Nice job from Lev Gershfeld coming off the bench, but
yeah, he put a good serve in there, and fortunately for the Matadors, Vanderbeek looks to be carrying a little bit more offensive load through this set as we kind of get to the end here of this second set. Swings pretty high and hard to get that ball tooled out of bounds wide.
back to Sisla, high block reset. Sullivan goes back to the middle, and to no surprise, we get to say his name once again, Lurich in the middle.
Lurich.
Absolutely earning his pay here today. 22 to 21. We are hitting that point trading part of the game, so a big serve here from Sisla can really open up Southern Exposure for a big 2-point advantage. Good jump serve, but Meza not shaken at all. And Vanderbeek ready to take advantage.
Vanderbeek down the line, taking advantage of that outside blocker's forearms as he reaches back into the court. Chisels it off that block and down for a point.
And if you've done a heat map on number 17 from the Matadors, you're gonna see a lot of straight lines down the line. Make sure to, you wanna get outside on him and push him back into the court. Sullivan able to push that one over, and this one's gotta go. Vanderbeek not quite able to get there. One of the first dumps we've seen from Sullivan, other than you know, that jam down earlier on the plane of the net, but good look from him. Lushakian misses that one.
Bad timing for that.
Yep.
We get tied at 23 here.
Race to 2. This is where volleyball players are made, finding out who can really battle here and open up that 2-point lead. Gomez puts the Southern Exposure in system, and Hubbard Neal one-on-one. Little bit of a tight trap set there, but able to use his size and explosiveness to get that one through the hands of Serrano.
Yeah, Serrano just needed to get over the net there. It would have maybe had a different result, but here's now Lurich serving for Southern Exposure, and they now find themselves at set point.
Yep. Being able to take this one would be a big boon going into a 4-set run. Great pass, go to the outside. Morrow Isaac swings into the net. Some fantastic off-blocker defense once again from Hubbard Neal, but not quite able to transition that one for Langston Payne.
That is some high and hard angle heat from Morrow
he
Isaac.
is just challenging that high seam. And by high seam, I mean high angle, sorry. Gilberto Sanchez with that float. Langston Payne gets involved. That's one of the most authoritative we've seen. Great connection there between Sullivan and Langston Payne. The middle blockers on Southern Exposure absolutely handling an offensive workload right now. Sullivan just off the tape. Outside Morrow Isaac, the guy, and Gomez lifts that one. Hubbard Neal gonna manage this swing. Swings deep, dug by Meza. Serrano bump sets, and Isaac's gotta manage a swing once again. Sullivan goes right back to the middle, and Langston Payne comes in clutch. The middle blockers from the side of Southern Exposure are the story of set 2, contributing offensively in a way that this team has not yet seen this weekend. What a great point.
Yeah, nice work by Southern Exposure to win the longer rallies and force a set 2 victory in overtime. 26-24, I think.
26-24.
Yeah.
Now, I love to take a step back, and I do this as much as I can. When I talk about what the goal of the league of the NVA is as we continue to push pro volleyball here in the U.S., and the biggest thing, it's great to have all-stars, 6 big powerhouses on the court, but really what establishes a league is when you've got bench players that can come in, they can make adjustments. They've got names and guys they can rely on. And right now, these two teams, after losing some amazing starting players from November, they show that they may not only be better lineups, but they've also got bench players that are ready to plug in and hang and bang with the best of them. And that's exactly what you want to see. And teams doing that in just 5 short months speaks to the organizations that are part of the NVA. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, you're totally right. Obviously, roster depth is going to be very key through, to provide success for these teams throughout this season. It's not just a 6 or 7 man offense, rotation, but you got to have 15 guys, 12 guys that can play maybe multiple places, a couple specialty guys, but you're only as good as your entire squad. You got to have depth in case somebody goes down with an injury or just to give a different look. So, team development is very key.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. It's on each team on their approach, how they want to play, how they want to recruit, who they want to grab, and finding a way to get those pieces to play together. And teams are continuing to just really understand the only way that's going to happen is you've got to find local players, you've got to develop that talent. And so it's doing a great job of giving local colleges a way to find involvement, whether that's D1 programs out in Southern California or Texas relying on a variety of different states, NAIA, club teams, D2, D3.
Yeah, well, we're seeing a lot of growth in men's volleyball across the country, which is a great thing to see. And hopefully we'll see that kind of filter into more teams and more players in the NVA.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting here as we see the league just continue to develop. So now to dial us back in to the current match. We're in that race to, best of 3 kind of mode. So I expect to see the same lineups, both of these teams just trading blows. Maybe the Matadors make a little bit of a change up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Serrano back on the outside. Not to say that George Cabrera is not doing very well. He's got, he's been money in serve receive, but if they're looking for a little bit of that consistency and connection, that's been doing well for them all weekend long.
I agree. I think that's probably a good strategy to try to employ. Gomez did an okay job, but really on defense it was sort of a liability. The ball kind of bounced off him a couple of times. Don't really recall him getting any big kills or swings when the Matadors needed him to. And so if you don't have faith in your guy to set him, then what's he doing out there?
Right. So with all that said, we're going to see the return of Serrano here, but keeping the middles, and I love that because Gilberto Sanchez comes in, brings a lot of offensive authority, doing a great job working the backside, getting some back one runs, and that really just keeps the middles of Southern Exposure honest. But when you mention the middles of Southern Exposure, they are absolutely crushing it right now, and it's easy when your passing's perfect. It's hard when you have to be the one working in transition, and that's what they're doing right now. They are earning their points. Middle transition with ones, push ones, threes.
Yep.
Lots of work happening over there, so keep an eye out. Serrano swings that one long. Jacob Ciesla working hard to quickly get out of the way. Not getting hit there as the opposite rotating through.
Nice dodgeball by Ciesla.
Sullivan crushing that offensive serve. Gets Mesa more or less. We talk about that all the time. I don't know what constitutes an ace in the stat book anymore, but I got to tell you, that's as good as one.
He should get credit for an ace. That was an unreturnable pass. It was an unplayable pass.
Yep. Huge serve back to back. Hubbard Neal more than happy to swing that one straight down, and glad to see the hands get up there for Serrano because that one was going straight at his head.
Great start by Southern Exposure here to build a 3-0 lead early on, kind of quick. Good serving by Sullivan. Quite the turnaround from set number 1.
Anytime you see a setter putting this much pressure from the service line, you're gonna be happy. Morrow Isaac looks to bail them out. Nice little reset here, and that's gonna be Mushikian getting a big swing. Yep. No, he doesn't go under. That's the correct calls. He's able to keep his feet on the line, and that's going to be a net. It's one of those tricky things where contact being made sometimes feels like a player goes under, but Mushikian very disciplined, getting himself stopped there, and no under. Sullivan sends that one a little bit deeper, and it's a sigh of relief on the side of Matadors. But Sullivan back into Hubbard Neal. Wow. It's all about how you finish your move sometimes, and the Matadors get a little bit of help from the net, finish the move over the net, and that's going to be a terminal block. Also worth noting that we are seeing the return of Martin Patrice in the middle for Brent Massetti here, so they're going back to him. They think his presence on the court was missed. Great pass by Mushikian, backside to Hubbard Neal. Nice dig there from Morrow Isaac, and step close. Hubbard Neal just finishing, cleaning up the trash.
Yeah, wow.
That was a heck of a swing.
That was. Nice dig on the first one. The second time, Tyler was like, that's enough of this. Just
Yeah,
finishes it off.
let's end this rally real quick.
Oh.
And then he hammers the serve home.
Oh.
Patrice looks for that contact, able to get it. Nice transition. We're seeing Mario Meza still able to battle, and after a tough night of service lead last night for Malero, great to see that the second libero there also ready to dial it in.
Yeah, he can hang all right, and he's doing a great job in the back row there.
Patrice going to Gomez, tight pass, and that's going to be Mushikian running that inside set. Little one-handed dig there from Patrice. Nice dig by Sullivan. Gomez swinging it back outside to Mushikian, who's able to swing that one through the net. There's been some pretty phenomenal bump setting from the liberos on every team. I've been very impressed. Their willingness to go against the grain and out of system for every team. It's been impressive to watch.
It's an important skill to develop as a libero. You've got to be a great setter, whether it's your hands or your forearms, jumping from behind the 10-foot line and keeping it legal.
Big swing in the angle, but once again, we see the middles working hard. Nice set block there on the outside by Cisla Lurich, closing it up, able to funnel that one back into the court.
Yeah, you're seeing the blocking of Southern Exposure kind of take over this match. Matadors are having a hard time matching that in terms of their block and defense.
Oh, and you talk about matching it, and there Gilberto Sanchez is facing away towards the ref. And Mushikian really, you know, he struggled a couple times throughout the match to find his back row groove, but right now he is finding it front row without hesitation.
Yeah, very much so, Nick. You're totally right. Mushikian is really flying out of the front row, developing some confidence after kind of a slow start.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, it's a marathon here. It's not a sprint, and he's starting to come around.
That's one of those most important skills as an outside, that it can be good and bad. There's so many expectations of skills. You've got to be able to pass first. You've got to be able to clean up the trash with some of the outside sets you're going to get. And that means sometimes if you're struggling with one skill, there's another way to find your groove. But at the same time, if you're struggling with one skill, it can also mean it impacts the other parts of your game. So Mushikian really relying on some good serve receive to find his way back into this match. And now the offense is starting to click. So he is rolling right along, and we're seeing an 8-2 lead develop early. Matadors need to start doing some problem solving.
Yeah, you heard coach player libero Malero over there really kind of being pretty verbal to his squad, trying to just implore them to play with some heart, play with some fire, get some emotion involved, you know, have some fun, loosen up a little bit. The ball might not be bouncing their way a little bit. Obviously, they're down by 6 in this third set, trying to just rally the troops a little bit to create some fire.
Ooh, Langston Payne once again. You know, he's been great when he's serving on his terms, but coming out of the timeouts, that's 2 missed serves so far this match.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate miss for Langston.
Vanderbeek right now finding his target, and I think he's been going after Mushikian quite a bit. Goes for Hubbard Neal there. Set to the outside, Mushikian tips over the top. Covered, reset, step close from Morrow Isaac, but dug by Hubbard Neal. In system, Lurich tips over the top, covered by Vanderbeek. Reset, Sullivan's out, and that's gonna be the set against the grain there. Deep swing, covered by Meza. Gilberto Sanchez, though, once again on that confident back one route. Middles in transition is the way to score points.
Nick's fired up. He likes the middles in transition.
I love it.
That was a well played, kind of a fortunate pass just right there for the quick set in transition and an easy point.
Anytime you have your defenses working that hard and your middles working that hard, reward them. Get a different look. That's a huge, huge tape bounce there. A little bit of miscommunication. Hubbard Neal thought Sullivan might pass that coming across the net. And we're now seeing a little bit of that spark reignited from the Matadors.
Yeah, a little bit of life coming back now. Malero must have said something that sparked a little fire in these guys. Aces always help as well.
Gomez is gonna have to bump set high. Mushikian gets around that one. The deep swing. That's what we're talking about when you need a clutch outside moment. Taking that high out of system swing. Gomez getting him a great ball to get around, well swung by Mushikian.
Yeah, nice way to he worked to get behind the ball, step close, jumped nice and high, really was able to get on that one good.
Serve's gonna go long. And when we talk about step close real quick, that's a common phrase in the volleyball world that sometimes we use, but if you're not familiar with it at home, basically when everything is going right, you get a nice little straight approach into a ball. When you step close, that phrase is referring to someone that's got to make an adjustment out of system and kind of make some drastic changes. Sometimes you don't have the same momentum in your approach. It's all about a little gather step, getting around a ball. So when we say the step close, that means things probably aren't going exactly how a hitter wants to hit, and they're making adjustments. So that's generally a big compliment for a hitter that's able to score off of a step close. That's a big in-system swing. Nice dig there by Hubbard Neal. Sees a block, goes over the top. And now a big swing for Vanderbeek. Finds his way to be in system on the D-ball. And you know, honestly, I do like that tip there from Sisla. I think that based on the set he got, there wasn't a smart swing for him to have.
Yeah.
And so management there was good.
Yeah, it was a smart choice by him. Kept the ball in play, gave his team another chance. Didn't work out that time, but still better than a gross error into the net.
Gilberto Sanchez, wow. That is the advantage of having an experienced Derek Sullivan. So Gilberto Sanchez puts a ton of heat on that. Mushikian weathers the storm, and it's going tight. And what you see, though, is instead of Sullivan trying to set, he just accelerates that ball straight down into the side of the Matadors. Well handled. Good pass here by Meza, goes outside, and that block is not going to be able to bring that ball back into the court. Serrano hits the good float, taken by Mushikian. Outside, Hubbard Neal bangs that one into the court, finds his seam. The outsides right now are just having a field day on Southern Exposure.
Yeah, they really are, and it's pretty high-level attacking going on, and it's fun to watch.
It really is. For a long weekend for us here on the desk, we're doing our best to battle through it. That's a lot of commentating going on, but getting to see this front row just is an absolute treat. Morrow Isaac with a high swing. Sullivan goes for that quick tempo, tipped over the top. Vanderbeek off the net, playing some defense. And that's a huge block now from the same side of the court for Southern Exposure that's producing so much offensive threat, able to get the defensive stop there as well. And that's going to be a timeout taken by the Matadors. Hubbard Neal all smiles on his way to the bench, knows that he is contributing offensively, defensively, and dialed in on his passing.
You know, the Matadors kind of came out there and they did sort of answer the push that that Coach Malero was trying to get out of them. But in response, Southern Exposure has then upped their level as well to kind of match the Matadors. And so there's this little ebb and flow back and forth right now. Southern Exposure with a 5-point lead about halfway through this set. Matadors better be careful or else they're going to find themselves down by 7 or 8.
Yeah, and I think the big answer that we saw last night when they were playing against LA Blaze was a good funneled block. Right now, bring your pins in another foot. You're getting cross-court angle hit against you on all sides. There's no line swing going on. Bring that in, let your middles close that up, start getting some block touches to slow down the pins, and play your defense, because you've got great defensive moves on the side of the Matadors. And I think that's going to be a great way for them to kind of recenter and find their offensive swing. Yeah. Sullivan had a massive run that really opened this game up last time he was back here. So see if he can pick up where he left off. Definitely a great swing there. Isaac goes long and high, no touch there. It's one of those tough things when you elevate as well as Isaac does. Sometimes there is no one in the same area code as you up at the top of the net there. Goes over the top there. This one is continuing to elevate, but I want to hear a little bit more. Victoria, what are you seeing?
Southern Exposure have 9 kills as a team this set, whereas the Matadors only have 4. So the Exposure are finding their rhythm, especially spreading their offense here, and it's definitely impacting the Matadors defense. Nick?
It definitely is, and hearing that, it's not surprising to me by any means. It really is reflected on the scoreboard. But there's Langston Payne once again being activated. And that's what Derek Sullivan has done so well with this team. Right when you think that you've got it figured out, that they're scoring through the outside, he dials it back in, finds the middles, finds a dump for himself, and keeps the defensive blocks guessing. And honestly, when the pressure is this high, I still love Hubbard Neal going right back to the jump serve. Do not second guess. If you're watching this later, Tyler, do not go to the float serve for a safety. Green light, my guy. You absolutely have a cannon there. Patrice going very short. Handled well there on the pass. Covered by Sullivan. Ciesla chips it down the angle, and that's what you want to see. He does a great job getting his feet there first and taking that high swing down the line. A very consistent look for him, and that's going to bring them into the lead at the second technical timeout.
Unfortunately, you're seeing some personality kind of challenges for the team in red over here, the Matadors. Okay, things aren't really necessarily going their way. They're kind of down on themselves. They can't get any kind of excitement gathered. You know, even if they get a kill or a side out, it's just like, okay, well, you know, that was good and all, but they're not celebrating their success. Like Southern Exposure, riding high right now on emotion. They've got the momentum. They got to carry it through if they can, you know, win this set, probably possibly win the match in 4, and just kind of keep their hands, you know, keep the pressure on the Matadors.
Yeah, it really is the case. And, you know, last night we saw with Blaze, that was such an exciting match. And Matadors really mentally cued in, finding out what it takes to win that match. I want to see them kind of try to tap right back into that vein of energy. And it's a tough one to do. They were really on another level last night. But if they can strive towards that, I think we're going to see them start to fight back. And even if it's not in this set, they've still got one more. They earned themselves that cushion in that first win. So
yeah.
Now we're going to see another serving substitution, and that's going to be Nicholas Gonzalez, I believe, making his debut this weekend as a serving substitution. Referees signaled they are ready. And here's the float serve. Vanderbeek with that high swing, and that's the guy you expect to get it done. Fondly nicknamed Thor in the live chat last night for the long flowing locks. Absolutely whips out Thor's hammer there, swings that one home. Been relying on his float serve to provide consistent pressure from the service line. Targets Hubbard Neal once again. Mushikian with that inside route off of the chest platform there of Mario Mesa, number 7.
Got on that one. One blocker in front of him. He went around in hard angle and found the libero, but couldn't control it.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that you really focus on as a setter. When you see Sullivan activating so many hitters, he does a great job using Mushikian on an inside route every now and then, and changes up the look from the blocks. Gilberto Sanchez gets a nice touch off the block of Lurich there. Hubbard Neal tried to play that one, missed it, and then was excited he didn't touch it as it sailed out. Unfortunately, a block touch up front.
He missed it. There was actually a touch on the blocker.
Well, I think
he should have played it.
Yeah, I think he was trying just a little bit of a swing and a miss, strike one. Good follow from these two guys here on the side of Southern Exposure, but an even better serve, and that's the pressure we wanted to see with Serrano coming back into the match. Gets that ace there, and one more here is going to be a great step forward for the Matadors. Roll shot short. Backside set to Ciesla, nobody home. Late reaction from Isaac, and Sullivan once again spreading that offense so wide. It just forces a lot of movement on the side of the Matadors. Just when they think he's going to go to that middle and transition with Lurich, as he rode him hard through the second set, goes back to Ciesla, who might have had a slower start to the game, but is now starting to manage swings very well and contribute to this offense for Southern Exposure. Mushikian bangs that one in. Nice pass. Backside to Vanderbeek with a little bit of a slide approach on the D ball, finds his way back in. Mushikian resets it here with a tip over the top. And Gilberto Sanchez forced a tip as well. A little bit of a pump fake from the two outsides there, thinking about who's got it.
That's unfortunate.
Closer to Hubbard Neal, but Eddie Mushikian, like a bullet train, chasing that one down. A little bit of hesitation from Neal to step in there. Gilberto Sanchez showing all weekend long a nice float serve, and his last time on the line hammered a couple jump serves, so interesting to see what he uses here to see if he can generate a little bit more energy for the Matadors. Goes short with that float. Gomez handles it perfectly. And there's Lurich, dug back row. But Lurich once again in transition this time, another touch block. And there's another block touch on the side of Southern Exposure, and Serrano ends it on his own accord. That was off the block, right?
No, it was covered. That was a covered pass, almost pass to the setter, and he was just like, I'll finish this off myself, and just comes flying in. A great approach line and hammers that ball.
That's what we talk about. There's an offensive setter in Sullivan, and then there's a hitting setter in Serrano. Nice pass by Gomez, and there's the back dump.
Oh, got him.
We're seeing the two ways that these setters like to score, and I just can't get enough when you see these guys in the same position, determined to show their stuff. Oh, you can hit a ball? Watch this dump, back dump. And we haven't seen too much of that. Sullivan loves to go with the ball, and that one just a reversal there. Nice look. Good block touch, but Isaac just continuing to hammer balls at the block there. And I really like when you see an outside that is so confident, getting blocked sometimes, maybe missing his target, but Isaac is unrelenting and unwilling to stop, just challenging the block at every single chance he gets. Good serve with Southern Exposure out of system. Nice dig down the line by Meza. Serrano dug off the chest perfectly. Dump off the net. This one's got to go. I guess not. I thought that was 4, but that's Cisla literally does not even put his hands up, just leans back, creates a platform with the chest of a real man right there, and puts Southern Exposure in system.
Yeah, pretty much. What else he got for me? And he just got to flex right at the right time and just pop that ball right back up.
Squeeze the pecs and use a platform there. Good block touch by Langston Payne. And now he transitions. The man still continuing to work in one of the best matches we have seen from Langston Payne as well. Block touches left and right.
Yeah, he's really, contributing. He's sort of the silent assassin contributor.
He is.
He's not doing huge flashy things. People aren't going nuts when he does something like some of these other guys. But he's just effective.
He's scoring the points that they need when they need them, and that's something you cannot understate. You got to recognize. But now we do see an interesting substitution. The Matadors are relying again on number 9, Cabrera, to sub out Mauro Isaac, and the first time he's gotten a breather this weekend.
Interesting to see that substitution go down when you're losing by 5 points, but then they set him and he scores, so that was good.
I mean, once again, we talk about the confidence in the depth of your bench. And sometimes we're saying, oh man, he's just coming off the bench. You really want to set him right now? Confidence from Serrano says, absolutely. Get my guy involved early. Let him get a swing before he has to go back to the service line. Now he's got one under the belt before he cranks this jump serve. But there's a dig. He's really showing up big. Serrano goes, there's a nice cover. Serrano to Serrano connection. Vanderbeek turns, step close, hammers the ball through the block of Southern Exposure. Wow, what an exchange.
Great cover pancake from Serrano. Saved that rally and turned out to turn a point by Vanderbeek.
Vanderbeek just showing exactly why he got the nickname Thor right there.
Hang and swat.
That's where Martin Catrice earns his keep. His ability to be a disciplined blocker, gets his hands over the net. Cisla sees the block, and honestly, I like the roll shot there. He sees that he's not going to be able to get a good swing, goes for that cheeky roll shot, but Patrice more than happy to throw that one down, and that is a huge way to not only score a point, but to also score some momentum. Matador is on great energy vibes right now going in, and it's always about the entirety of the match. They've now not only put themselves in a position to steal away the third set here, but just, you know, get them moving towards a potential big win in the fourth as well.
Yeah, Nick, you're totally right. That was a great kind of hang and swat we saw from Patrice. Almost, you know, if you've watched beach volleyball, you kind of late block move, hang, and reach and swat that thing back down just like that one. And so Matador's getting something to rally around. It's a good emotion right now. They've created their momentum. They find themselves only down by 2 here as we get kind of the business end of set number 3, right? This is a big pivotal game here between these two games.
And it's coming in the rotation we always talk about, where everyone's not in their normal position. I want to see a good pass, use Langston Payne on that 3, get him involved, get that kill. Better yet, coach, call a great timeout and earn your point.
Yep.
We got Coach Tony Glessner right now earning his keep, making sure that he can get a plane ride back home with the boys. Hubbard Neal putting the pressure on with the service line. Vanderbeek crushes that one in. That is the high-level line swing from number 17.
It's Vanderbeek time.
We talk about the, you know, the clutchness of a lot of these players on different teams, and number 17 is definitely in that conversation. Patrice now goes down the line, passed by Hubbard Neal, and there's the high swing off Langston Payne, kept it alive. Serrano's just going to look for a controlled swing and tip over the top. Takes Sullivan out, well done. And now Cisla just barely misses. A lot of disagreement here on the side of Southern Exposure. I couldn't see it, but the biggest thing is you're not going to get that overturned. (22-21) right now. Southern Exposure, they need to get dialed back in. There's something to be said for trying to maybe ice the server and argue a call, but do not let it affect your mental. You've got to answer strong right now. And Cisla with the setback. Name a better way. You give it right back to the guy that feels like he was wronged on the last call, and he hammers it home. Derek Sullivan, an absolute beast. Not only does he go with the setback, but he gets his hitter no blockers up.
Yeah, nice play by him. Way to go back to him, let him correct that error and get a nice big kill for them.
Gilberto Sanchez dug now in transition. Mushikian with a huge swing, or approach from the outside, covered by Cisla. Free ball gonna come over. Meza steps in, ready to put the Matadors back in transition, and Vanderbeek refuses to be stopped. There's as much strength as there is energy in that ponytail. We're seeing a big point here as Vanderbeek determined to find his way to influence this game, giving life to the red jersey Matadors. Hubbard Neal puts them back in system, and Cisla now the answer. Dug off the net. Step closed, roll shot in, passed by Lurich. Mushkian is the option. Not able to find that one, and that's gonna be a tied game at 23-all. And not 20 minutes ago, we were in the same position talking about the race to 2. Here it is once again. Lurich finding his way, and it right now on the side of the blue and the pink, if in doubt. Lurich out.
I was hoping that they would have set Lurich at the end of the previous rally, but that pass kind of pulled the setter off the net, so it kind of took him out, unfortunately. Way to go back to Lurich. Look for a big block right here. I think Lurich is due, or front row, maybe a quick attack by the Matadors.
D-ball expected here. Oh, goes outside. Serrano to Serrano, trusted.
Ooh, wow.
Aggressive move from Cisla, maybe something that Hubbard Neal able to dig, but either way, I'm never going to complain when I'm seeing good, quick moves out of my defensive guys.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, sometimes you're just making a read. It's not even a decision. You're just moving as fast as you can, so that's just going to happen in 24 all. Serrano looking to hammer this jump serve. Good swing, Gomez, a little bit out of system, but Mushikian goes. Overpass earned here. Please set your middles in transition. Find him. There it is. Kept alive by the hustle of the Matadors. Free ball coming back. Once again, you know it's going right back to Lurich. There he is with a turn in the middle. If there's one thing we know, it's that Sullivan knows the way to an easy point is the hard-working number 8 of Lurich.
Yeah, reward him. Keep giving it to him, you know. He's getting out, he's working hard, he's being available, set the quick, get it done with. Finish off that rally, and now it's set point once again for Southern Exposure.
I'm thankful for it. It's a late night on a long weekend, and he's getting me all sorts of jazzed up. I love to see this team utilizing their middles. High swing, Mushikian not able to get there. And what an answer back from number 9, Cabrera, coming in, and we weren't sure how that substitution was going to work out, and it is working out tenfold for the Matadors. What a great substitution from the coaching armada over here that we've got on the bench for the Matadors. Southern Exposure cleaning up that perspiration as a team, making sure they're talking about how they're going to answer back. And if we know anything, one good pass means Tim Lurich is about to get the set. And I talk about that, and not only was I tricked, but so was Patrice. And as a result, you get Hubbard Neal in a one-on-one situation, and that might as well be a check to the bank. Hubbard Neal scores that one with ease.
Yeah, absolutely right, Nick. Sweet attack line there by Tyler Hubbard Neal for a kill. Southern Exposure with another set point opportunity.
Lurich hammers that once again, tight set. Serrano finds Patrice with a tip over the top. Lurich playing some defense now. Dug by Serrano. It's going to be pushed over by Serrano. Hubbard Neal, oh no, the misconnection to the middle. Uncharacteristic, but just unlucky. And you know, I have to say a huge thank you to the Matadors organization, because right now, when you and I get to the end of the day, we want to make sure the fans at home get an exciting match to end every night. And the Matadors, who have been our finale every single night, make sure we're getting just that.
Yeah, you're totally right, Nick. It's absolutely kind of their MO to really bring some serious emotion to these games.
And there's the discipline block from the side of Vanderbeek, making sure to drop in and force Hubbard Neal wide. A couple misconnections, but right now the biggest thing, don't lose faith. I love the sets front row, that the options for Southern Exposure. Gomez gets them back in transition, going back to Hubbard Neal, and there's a touch off the block. Looking for the exact same swing he got last time, gets that one back. 27 all, this one is delivering in extra innings. I'm just hoping my voice can hold out for a couple more matches, or a couple more sets here. Sullivan cranking the pressure on, easy pass by Meza. Great dig by Mushikian, this one's gonna be tight, punched over, but Matadors go right back. Nice dig by Gomez.
Oh gosh.
Cisla not able to, you know, there's not a lot of options there really. That's just gonna be a tough location where that dig goes, so tough one all the same.
Bump set.
Even then, I'm worried he might, he's so close, he might net with that one. That's tough,
maybe.
It's tough.
Put it over then. No, it's a tough spot to be in for Cisla right there.
Great defense and swings there on the side of the Matadors as they take set point here. Gomez happy with that pass, back set to Hubbard Neal. And that's gonna be the reverse coming back from Serrano. The Matadors finding the lineup that is determined to get that point.
Huge emotional swing right there by the Matadors. Wow.
Boy, vey.
Oh man, Southern Exposure must be looking around like, what just happened? We were in control of that game, and now all of a sudden they find themselves down 1-2 at a best out of 5 match. The home team right now just really finding it within themselves to produce and pull out a comfort behind victory of that set.
You know, you and I were very confident going into this that this was not going to be an over in 3. And I stand behind that, but I wish we had challenged each other to take some predictions just to see how we felt where this one was going to end, because I still have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. You know, we're supposed to be, you know, sort of impartial parties here as the broadcasters,
Yeah.
you know, which I appreciate, but I couldn't have picked a team either way. You know, we just 4 or 5 games. Yeah, sure, that's a safe bet. I'll take that.
Yep, I agree. That's my safe bet line, and that's the one I'm going to take. But to pick a team, I love when teams are able to deliver. That just really, that's what this league is all about. And it's not trading subpar points. These guys are going out after a day full of teams struggling with missed serves. These guys are dialed in and hammering serves, battling back and forth. Really a great way to end the night.
Yeah, it really is. It's couldn't ask for anything more than that. Hopefully you get fans at home or, you know, in your pajamas relaxing, watching some high-level volleyball or jumping up and down and just absolutely enjoying this stuff. It's a high-quality match, and yeah, sounds good. High-quality match, and the Matadors just really emotionally taking advantage of it, finishing that set off and just getting a really quality chokehold on the momentum of this match right now. So in response for Southern Exposure, I don't know really what they need to do differently in order to sort of compete at the end of it. I mean, it's a deuce game, it goes overtime. They were leading for most of that game, but just the comfort behind victory again by the Matadors really shows their character and their heart. Southern Exposure, you know, complaining a little bit about maybe a controversial out call down the line, but really they got to be able to have some composure on their side, you know, relying heavily on Lurich out of the middle, and Cisla, unfortunately, with that kind of gross double contact late in that set as well, kind of unfortunately just didn't help the cause. And if I'm the Matadors, I want to do the same thing I just did, obviously continue to run and celebrate success, create more momentum if that's even humanly possible. They seem to be holding on to every single ounce of momentum that's available in this gym right now. But really, you've got Coach Malero kind of willing his team to create some kind of energy. You've got Matrice coming back into the middle now for the Matadors. As both teams come out, I don't see any other personnel changes. Tyler Hubbard-Neal, Lurich, Cisla, Mashukian, Sullivan, Langston Payne, the Serrano brothers, Vanderbeek, Isaac, Matrice setting. Hitting, I mean, middle blocker. Massetti. So expect this game to be as equally as competitive as that last one we had just several minutes ago. Here's Derek Sullivan starting the action now in set number 4. Down 1 games to 2. Going over on 2, but dug up. Here's Tyler Hubbard-Neal, cross court, gets a touch for a kill. Tyler Hubbard-Neal continuing to produce points for his team. The wing hitter. Derek Sullivan once again. Jump spin serve. That ball is out long. Just misses the inline. Here comes Massetti now, preparing his jump serve attempt. Jump spin, a little short, passed up by Gomez. Comes Cisla on the left with a one-on-one hitting opportunity and takes full advantage of it for the kill.
Man, we have not said his enough. We didn't get a chance to say his name enough early on, and now he is really just finding a way to get involved in that late game.
From a slow start in set number 1, he's really turned his engines on and, you know, contributed heavily throughout this match.
And to no surprise, there is a continued contribution from the right side on the Matadors. Number 17, Vanderbeek.
The former college tennis player.
Yep. Where he learned all that proper form and the ability to go line or angle. Hubbard Neal goes tight with it, and Langston Payne lives in that domain. You put it that tight, he is ready for the authoritative swing.
Lots of sharp angles to hit by Langston Payne, taking full advantage of it. Absolutely unleashing wrist away with that quick attack. Langston Payne, jump float, pass by Serrano. Patrice with a kill.
Langston Payne really tries to find that defensive move, not quite able. This match is still continuing to deliver, tied up at 3-3. Victoria, what do you got for us?
Yeah, Nick, the Matadors shared with me they were able to close out that set due to the fact they were able to keep their professionalism in the sense of keeping it steady in tight situations. Their blockers were able to shut down the pin hitters for Southern Exposure, as well as putting pressure on at the service line. Nick, back to you.
You know, it's funny. The word professionalism is one I don't hear much or associate with the volleyball world in terms of just like the athletes, but you're so right. The expectation for them to be able to perform and continue to output at a high level, it really speaks true to the performance we just saw from the Matadors. And that's the huge return block we've been waiting for from Southern Exposure, determined to make their net presence felt.
Yeah, you know, you see the composure and the concentration by the Matadors, I think also in terms of that professionalism that they were speaking about. To come back and win that set really speaks to sort of where their mindset is and where they're at as a team to be able to do that, pull it off.
Very disciplined, very, very disciplined players. Continuing to rotate through their middle options here as we see Brent Massetti return to the court in lieu of Gilberto Sanchez. I believe, you know, Gilberto's had a good offensive contribution. I think they're looking for a way to try to slow down the middles here. And there it is. We just talked about it, and that's the adjustment you want to see made. Lurich is stopped, I believe, for the first time in this match.
Well, it's nice to see the Matadors realize that they have to emphasize a little bit more on stopping Lurich because he's been scoring a lot of points for Southern Exposure, and that's probably is the first time that they've gotten a good stop on him.
Good set. There's the back dump. Derek Sullivan. So basically, he had retired from playing, gone full-time coaching, and he got the notice that Southern Exposure was out there having some tryouts. And he said, hey, maybe I dust off the sneakers, and goes out there, has a great tryout with no expectations. But you see that coach through and through. He knows there's a back row middle there, throwing that back. It is all over his game.
Yeah, that was a nice serve from Patrice, serving over into the stack. But he didn't realize there was a front row setter, and didn't make it all the way up to his spot on defense. Front row setters love to dump in front of the serving middle blocker from the other team.
Not only are they a defensive liability, but they're also running in from the service line. There's just so much space there. Gomez able to keep that one off the ground, but certainly out of system. And now we see the overly offensive Isaac.
Oh gosh.
Mushikian lays it up, and Hubbard Neal chops it down the line. Another big attack route, but that one's going to be stopped. There is some very disciplined blocking going on the side of Southern Exposure right now. Both teams really determined to make stops at the net. All right, right now we see Lurich getting ready on the back line, ready to hammer another serve if the serving performance we've seen tonight is any indication. And it's probably the best serving performance we've seen of any player all tournament long. I would really be willing to wager that. Just hammering balls all night long. Nice pass there. Hubbard Neal covered there by Lurich. Tip over the top to be recycled. And Morrow Isaac swings once again, recycled by Serrano. That is, we talk about patterns, and when you watch Sullivan play, you have to know the dump is coming. And if you're scouting the Matadors properly, you have to know that Serrano is an absolute threat as an offensive swing out of number one there. And he takes an approach line, pulls the blocker, and then is able to set his middle, who tips over the top of the blocker that was just pulled by his setter.
Yeah.
Great recognition there by Massetti. Also a shout out to Serrano number 13, playing great off-blocker defense there. That's going to be our first technical timeout. God, 8-7 going to the first technical timeout. Neither team willing to give an inch. And we just saw the Matadors, you know, sometimes you worry about the energy flow, right? Southern Exposure up by 4 points, I think, at some point during that, and Matadors able to battle their way back.
Yeah.
And now Southern Exposure still in the lead coming back, not deterred in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out battle all the way to the finish, whether it's in 4 games or 5 games. And we're going to be here for a little while
We're
longer.
going to be here for a little bit longer. I think we need a couple In-N-Out burgers sent our way, maybe just for a little bit of that
right
rejuvenation.
Well, good thing they're open late.
No real team roster changes occurring throughout this match. Everyone determined to just let it ride, and I think it's extremely warranted. The only thing we're seeing is the Matadors making some good cycling through their middles. But, you know, we saw a lot of Matadors. Matadors was the roster most likely to make substitutions back in Utah as well. Mm-hmm. And it's great to see that they have new coaches and new personnel, but I feel like their substitution usage, once again, they're willing to make them. I think it's one of the most dead on. Every time they make them, we're seeing meaningful input from whoever they put in.
Yeah, absolutely. That impact that the player provides off the bench is exactly what the whole point of bringing somebody in is to do.
Yeah, they just know their guys. So Sullivan going to launch that aggressive serve just long. It's funny how much my opinion changes of missed serves when they're really uncharacteristic and they're good misses. When we're sitting here bouncing our head against the table counting the 12th one of the match, you know.
Or the first game.
Yeah. Ooh, off. Oh my goodness. Oh, late delayed block. Was that off the head of, I couldn't see where that
Not really
came.
sure, but just goes to show, keep your hands up. You might get lucky, blind squirrel finds a net every once in a while. And
that's one of the biggest differences
bounce
between the best middles is they're willing to make the move no matter what.
Yeah.
Just because you're beat, you've got to finish the move.
Don't give up on don't give up on your blocking move.
Oh, great dig by Serrano. Morrow Isaac rips into the corner, but lipped there. Sullivan just chips that one over, taken by Vanderbeek. Outside, it's going to be an off-swing management. It's got to go over now. Taken by Sullivan, they're out of system. Ciesla once again looks for the rip, reset, and he's going to get that one off the high hands. What a great turnaround, late game performance here that we're seeing from Ciesla. What a confident swing.
Yeah, Ciesla's really found his groove after a slow start in the first set like we discussed multiple times so far through this match. Southern Exposure, he's a little bit of the silent assassin himself. He's doesn't get called on a lot, but when he does, he needs to be able to produce. As the opposite, wow.
Langston Payne gets well over the net, and that seam is quickly disappearing there from Morrow Isaac. You know, he went a hard angle last time, got dug there by the libero, and after Gomez gets the scoop, changes up his attack line a little bit, tries to go for that seam, and Langston Payne is sitting there.
Another stuff down.
Wow, there's the aggression from Hubbard Neal. Now the faith in, that looks like a net to me, but not called. Goes back once again, the setback, and that one is in. You know, Sullivan absolutely maximizes the output out of his guys. He knows how to set back. He knows where to go.
He runs a very well-rounded offense,
yeah,
for sure. You know, and he's very smooth. It's almost like, you know, every set he chooses to go with looks the same.
Right.
So deceivingly wise, it's difficult to track.
And also, not only is it hard to track, which I agree with 100%, but he makes the right decision, it feels like, every time. So his guys, he's getting one-on-ones on his pins regularly as a result of his work to establish the middles.
Right. Offenses typically run through the middle and then you spread out from there. We've seen that from Sullivan and Southern Exposure as well, getting Lurich involved and also Payne.
Hubbard, little miscommunication there, but Hubbard Neal ready to just send that one over. Patrice tries to terminate, low block there. And Isaac now with that big swing. Langston Payne goes back to back, and he is surely inflicting the pain right now.
It's one of the best plays in volleyball, just getting a huge stuff down on a block. It's just like your opponent is trying to hit it as hard as he can at you, but you're saying not against me. Here's my stuff down. How does it feel? And it just gets the entire team so fired up.
Absolutely the case.
Oh,
and you won a third one back to back on the same guy. That's 3 swings in a row, and here comes the substitution.
3 straight blocks.
Against the same guy. That is a tough one for Isaac, as a guy that we've seen relatively untouched all weekend long.
Yeah, he has been producing for sure. Unfortunately, maybe just not really taking a timeout, but just get a different look, see if he can get a side out. You know, he may come back in, but
and
you know, in a little bit of a phone booth at the moment.
Cabrera's had a great match so far as well.
Ball goes out of bounds, no touch. I just realized I used the phone booth as a analogy. There aren't phone booths anymore anywhere, so I don't know if that's valid anymore.
Still, I think at least for the next 5 to 10 years, that analogy stands true. I think after
5 to 10, huh?
Yeah, maybe
that's
4.
Ambitious, I
maybe
think.
4. And then it's going to phase out, and just at that point, we got to find something
Phone
new.
booths have been phased out.
For all of our fans out in London, you know.
Yeah.
This one's running so late, they might be able to catch some Monday morning action over there.
Yep. We're watching it on the tube. It's a morning commute to work.
Yeah. $14-10. Matadors, as we just saw, you know, they couldn't be further from out of this. But we've got to get some of those personnel changes working on their behalf, see if they're able to generate a little bit of momentum right now. I bet right now, I think the way they go is Patrice. I think they trust in their big man because you need to reestablish your middle for your
Yeah,
teams.
I agree. I mean, if the pass is up to the net, pass perfect, yeah, for sure, get Patrice involved. If not there, you're going to go to Vanderbeek.
Yep. Great track down, send it over, air it out, give him a chance to reset. And there's Lurich. You know,
applaud the hustle by Vanderbeek to keep that ball in play, gave his team a chance to block in defense, but Lurich has just been unstoppable.
Yeah, you hit that nail on the head. Nice serve by Langston Payne. Ooh, good chip. Once again, we're talking about the ability to be effective off the bench. And there it is, a little chip down the line from Cabrera. Getting involved early, being effective, hitting at a high percentage. Well done by him. And once again, I love that he gets a set before he goes back to hit this jump serve. Keeps your arm warm, lets you find a little bit of your rhythm, your tempo, and lets you confidently get after it. And get after it, he does. Dug by Serrano. Vanderbeek swings high. Gomez thought he saw a touch, so he was looking to chase that one, but realizing that I don't think there in fact was one. So,
yeah, it was a little bit an unorthodox swing there by Vanderbeek, kind of developing over his left shoulder, but you know, turned it into a good swing and you know, got the point for the Matadors.
Ooh, that one's going down. And again, we're just seeing non-stop confidence on the side of the Matadors. Cabrera coming in with 2 banger serves, gets the ace there.
Nice contribution off the bench by Cabrera. I don't even know if we can really call him off the bench. He's been coming in and out so often through this match.
Yeah, they're cycling through.
Yeah.
Like 3 middles and 3 outsides right now, essentially. Just kind of finding the right piece at the right time. Mushkian handles that very well. And now Cecil once again swings into that seam, dug by Serrano. And Vanderbeek just cleaning up the trash, but dug by Gomez. Mushkian out performing that set significantly betters that ball.
Wow.
That looked like it was all but over for him on that swing, and he managed to make a miracle happen.
Yeah, no, it was, oh, sorry.
Stuck, trapped.
Too many hours behind this table, Nick. But yeah, Cecila getting the setter assist there, but a nice tool. Who's that Tyler Hubbard-Neal that hit that ball?
No,
I couldn't even really tell.
That was Eddie Mushkian put it away.
Nice, yeah, good high swing attack by him, just tooling the ball out of bounds to get them to 16, our second technical timeout. Kind of inching closer right now. Southern Exposure with that 3-point lead, really trying to figure out how they can finish this match off in 4 and not let the Matadors force a 5th set.
There's a lot of problem solving right now for both these teams, because this is one of the we saw it, like if you go position by position and in terms of how the teams expect that player to contribute, they're almost identical in the way they play the game and the expectations of the way the team plays through their positions, their guys and their personnel.
Yeah.
So seeing it match up and pair up so wonderfully, it's just such a great way to end this all. It also makes me excited for when we see Southern Exposure play Blaze, knowing how competitive last night was.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a very similar very similar match.
Agreed.
Interesting. We're going to see Lev Gershfeld coming in here for Cecila. I think Cecila, we see him munching on some food. It's a long day. They're going late. Maybe catch him a breather just for the serve.
Yeah. I think it's a good move by them. I like it.
Yeah. Lev Gershfeld also showing that he's been coming in and effective as a serving sub. So,
yeah,
worry not. But give your guy a chance to talk him through some of the systems. And there's the serve, gets the Matadors out of system. Goes to Vanderbeek, and it sneaks through the block.
Unfortunate there by Southern Exposure. Great serve from Gershfeld. Guys just can't get their hands over the net in that rotation and or on that block and defense play, and Vanderbeek gets the point.
So I think right now they're going to leave Lev Gershfeld, traditionally an outside hitter, but just a very well-rounded volleyball player in general, hailing from Northern California, now resides in Florida. Good pass. That one, we saw that fun game last time when Mishkian hits that ball and gets out of the way. That time, not quite able to, hits him in the left shoulder on the way down.
Yeah, and this is a bit of a tricky rotation. You've got Sullivan in the front row, Lurich in the front row, need a perfect pass, set the quick. Set the quick or look for a setter dump maybe.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen a dump from Sullivan in a while. This one goes tight, especially with the back row middle. Oh, but I don't know why we even try. Lurich is front row.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Good pass, go to the man number 8.
Yep. He keeps producing, keep feeding him.
He's got to be hitting over 800 right now.
He's probably pretty close.
It's been one of the best performances from middle we've seen all weekend.
Absolutely agree with you. Yep.
Oof, that's a tough one from Mushikian. We're getting into the part of the game where these outsides have been taking a ton of swings, and you got to start managing your legs a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's the last match of the 3rd day. These guys have been playing quite a bit. The first thing that usually tends to go when your legs are getting fatigued is the jump serve. And Eddie could find, maybe a second gear for that one a little bit.
And so right there we see a little interesting adjustment. You bring Lev Gershfeld in, whether they're going to undo the sub at one point or they're just holding him for a back row rotation, Gershfeld able to step in there and be a passing. Yeah. We saw this for the Utah Stingers earlier, using Ba as a back row substitution as well for Mencia. So similar strategy. Rich hammers another serve. Gershfeld tracks it down. Free ball coming over from Mushikian, kept alive. Meza ready to take it though. A little bit of a slide route for the first time. The first slide of the entire tournament there for Massetti. Creates a little bit of a different look, reestablishes a right side threat while he's the only front row hitter there on that side of the court.
A little bit of a stutter step back row attack, or a backslide attempt there. Pass kind of got pushed back towards that side of the court. Massetti was able to make something out of it.
Good pass by Gomez. Mishkian dumps it to middle back, but it's covered easily. And there's a big swing down the line that was just, he barely had a ball's width and he found it. Tied up now at 18 apiece.
Yeah, I want Sullivan to make a better choice than that play on that serve reception.
Yeah.
Set your front row hitters. Give yourself a chance. Dump the ball.
Gomez passes tight. Langston Payne gets activated and that one goes out. Very close to a touch, but does not find one. Discipline blocking there from Brent Massetti. Timeout called on the side of Southern Exposure. Right now, you know, it's hard to say whether it's Southern Exposure struggling a little bit to close out games, or it's that the Matadors know how to turn on energy out of nowhere. But these late games, as you're getting there, Matadors are just finding a way to just battle back.
Yeah, you're totally right, Nick. They really are just finding ways to score points, hustle, running down balls, bringing them back, giving them second, third, fourth, fifth chances to either block in defense or get some transitional swings, right? And they're being rewarded for that. You know, they snuck that game win out from the last set. Now they've pulled ahead again by a point here after being down for most of this fourth set.
And once again, you know, we love to talk about number 11, Jose Molero, who's been on the bench all night. Mario Mesa's having a heck of a night, really doing a good job controlling the back row. A lot of just scrap and random points coming over.
Pretty seamless between the two of them, and he's doing a great job.
Nice pass there by Mushikian. Langston Payne gets activated. And this is where they are going to, in fact, undo that sub. Makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Just give him a chance, change up some back row, get Cecil a breather. He's not really being relied on for that D-ball, so
yeah,
Gershfeld can hit, you know, a D-ball more or less to the same effectiveness, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure on Sullivan right now. He's an aggressive server. See if he can put this one in. He does.
Nope.
That set is just too far outside the court, and Vanderbeek starts to try and manage that one with a little bit of that inside-out approach, but just not able to find it.
Trying to pull some magic out of the hat on that one, and or out of the ponytail, but unfortunately that one just found the back wall.
You know, tough miss serve, but Sullivan finds a real one first, so as long as their guys can pass inside out right now, Southern Exposure will find themselves back in the lead. So that's you know, not the worst spot to be in. Got a back row middle here, so keep an eye out for tips going his way. What a run. Derek Sullivan going to that 8-foot, 9-foot push set over to Langston Payne. And you know, we're talking a lot about Lurich, but Langston Payne probably having the best match I've ever seen him play as well.
Yeah.
Blocking wise, hitting.
Yeah. Silently really contributing for his team.
Oh, just a tad late, not over the net yet on that block move, and it funnels down. Tied up at 21 all. It's really getting the do or die, and Matadors are able to play a little bit looser right now because they've already got 2 sets under their belt, so a little bit less pressure. They can just let it fly.
Yeah, they got nothing to lose.
Off the tape, Gomez puts that one up. And now Cecil swings high. And the man in the late game right now is being the guy that they're looking for points from. Well swung. (22-21). Langston Payne hits a nice float serve. Backside dug by Sullivan. Hubbard Neal airs this one out. Real mismatch there on what he was looking for, but nice job by Mushkin to put an aggressive swing in. Nice off blocker defense. Lurich swings out of system. Bumps at the outside. High hands, but it's dug back row by Hubbard Neal. And now Mushikian gets the swing off of hands. Timeout called by the Matadors. One of the most phenomenal point efforts we've seen by Mushikian right there. Off blocker defense, digs that sharp cut from the middle. Huge play right there. I completely missed it. What was the controversy? Was there a double?
I think, well, yeah, Matadors are kind of bickering at the up ref for not calling a double contact on a sort of spinny set.
Gotcha.
Right. But he's being consistent. He hasn't called any double
I was
contacts
gonna
all
say,
night long. He's not going to call it now.
Not even
So-
all night, not all weekend.
Yeah.
We've been letting guys play. We want to see the play continue. So
Right, yeah.
that's looking for a bailout. Take ownness, make it end on your terms.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you're seeing the set that came out of it. Mushikian was in a dang near impossible situation, and he still was able to squeak it through.
Yep.
Payne lobs that one deep, kept in by Mesa. Huge block touch, and they go to jam it down, but that's going to be a net on the side of the Matadors. Langston Payne, that was a huge serve. As someone that has missed 2 already tonight, as we observed out of timeouts, finding that one and forcing a deep pass, very well done. Now we're on set point to send us the distance.
First 5-gamer all day.
Yep.
Has to be the last one.
Hey, the people want good volleyball. We're here to deliver. Langston Payne lays out, finds the dig off of Patrice. Backside, that one swings wide. We are running the distance. We are going 5. Get your payment for admission here.
Why not? Just why not? Just why not go 5 games?
Unique New York. How now, Brown Cow?
I'm gonna have to dig deep for this one, Nick.
I got you. The voice, I only talk to people on the phone all day long at work, so more than happy to just burn the voice out right here and just tell people, hey, call me tomorrow. All right, Matt, let's talk a little bit of strategy. When you are managing a game 5, what, as a player, as a coach, how do you train yourself and your players? What's your thought process?
Well, first thing first, you want to get the right matchup. So you want to make sure you've got a back row setter. You've got 3 hitters going through the front row, okay, obviously. And then typically you want to have one of your stronger servers starting off for you as well, if that's possible. In terms of gameplay itself, look, anything goes, right? You ride your hot horses, okay? If you're at Southern Exposure, Lurich is going to get a lot of sets. Langston Payne, feed the middles as much as you can, right? They've been proven all night that they've been able to score points consistently. If you're Sullivan, maybe get yourself involved a little bit. Invest in yourself. Be a little more active offensively. You've got great defense behind you with Gomez in the libero. As far as the Matadors, Vanderbeek got you through the finish line last night. Can he do it tonight? Possibly, but he's going to need a little bit of assistance from some supporting cast members as well.
Yeah,
I would look for Isaac to come back, possibly if needed.
Yep.
But then Gomez has been a great add-in, and their middles could be a little bit more active as well as too.
Absolutely. I mean, he's really just been carrying the brunt of the weight all night long. So if we can see Vanderbeek just find the will and the legs to get through one more match here.
Serrano as well for the Matadors. In order for them to win this match, he's been doing great. He's been delivering great hittable balls all night.
Yeah.
And he needs to continue to run a smooth offense throughout this 5th set to 5 games if they want a chance to win this one. But don't forget about the setter. Just because he doesn't swing all the time or have a golden ponytail doesn't mean he's not a strong
Equally
contributor.
valuable. Yep.
Yeah. I think the X factor for Southern Exposure could be Cisla. Hopefully he doesn't make too many errors, off the ball errors to. What do you want me to do with that?
Thoughts?
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
I'm good with that stuff. Sorry, I didn't want to read lips. It's a,
no
5th game here. It's 10 minutes after 9.
You wanna send that one down the line?
Sure. Would you pass it along to Victoria Dennis, please? Thank you.
No, Victoria, you got a piece.
She heard me say her name. Don't panic. It's all right. You're good.
Hey, we're just making sure you're awake down there, okay?
Yeah.
Watch us. For anyone that can't see, Victoria's just down the line on our support staff. She heard her name and she was not ready with anything just yet. So making sure she's awake here as we start this 5th set off. That is one of the highest IQ plays that you see. A huge swing off the block. Serrano absolutely going after it. Oh man, the little chuckle keeping us all alive and dialed in over here. I love it. All right, Brent Massetti here, seeing if he can make some magic happen. Cisla swings in the angle, and we talk about being clutch. You really know the roadmap we want to see develop here, Matt.
So I'm just trying to hear help, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to bring some quality content to this stuff, and it's a nice first swing by Cisla. 1-1 in the 5th.
Hubbard Neal is still hammering balls from the back line. Chop over the top, taken by Sullivan. Aggressive set from Gomez to the outside, rolled over the top by Cisla, picked up by Meza. And now it's a roll shot back there, reset, cleared out, and Lurich. Sorry, Cisla there. That's dug by the Matadors. Good cover, punched over, dug by Mesa once again. And that's going to be a net.
Who's in the net? Who's in the net? Hold on a minute. We might have dual nets. Might be a double violation.
Oh, it's an override. Seen differently.
Bit of acceptance by that. Not too much arguments there. So apparently the up ref did get that chaotic call right.
Wow, what a serve. That one's going over past. Oh my gosh. Serrano is single-handedly trying to make some of the most aggressive and offensive plays we've seen from the setter. Taking over, but just barely swept wide. That was an aggressive block move to make a huge defensive play for the Matadors. Does not quite pan out.
Oh, watch yourself now.
Hubbard Neal's serve finds the hand there of Langston Payne, getting his hand ready for what a potential block coming back at him might feel like.
Yeah, well, that's what the front row players have to do now with such high velocity jump serves these days. They don't want to get hit in the back of the head when they don't expect it.
Gomez overpasses, and that serve is going out.
It might have been going out. Yeah, you don't see too many liberos passing an overhand with their hands above their head, a jump serve like that.
Yeah.
Usually if it's above your shoulders, it's going out of bounds.
But once again, we're just seeing Serrano just grab this game and take care of it. Oof. Tough miss, but that's the kind of miss where we really, the ratio we talk about, that golden ratio of one ace to 1.5 or 2 misses.
Yeah, that's an okay miss after scoring a point on the first one. You know, down by 1 now.
Langston Payne targets the hands of Serrano. Little off the net, and Gilberto Sanchez with a misconnect. Serrano trying to find him, but that's okay. Once again, looking for that middle early. That window for misses like that quickly will close here in a short game to 15. As this one is dragging on, Victoria, what are you seeing develop on your side?
Well, guys, it's the race to 15. At this point, the stats look the same across the board. So really, it's going to come down to who's going to step up on either side of the net and be the big dog here. Who's going to take their team under their wing and get this done? Nick, back to you.
Well, if I got to put money on it right now, I am relying on the golden ponytail on the side of the Matadors, or number 8, the man who's been unstoppable, Lurich. And we'll see. Well, you know what? Cisla might be a Game 5 kind of guy because he's already got 2 big points, and doesn't look like he's slowing down. Maybe he is slowing down. They're subbing him out, giving that nice little breather once again.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move.
Yeah, like save the legs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lev Gershfeld showing that he's been one of the consistent serving subs in the league so far. Bounces that one off the top of the tape. But once again, Vanderbeek is the option. So basically, if Serrano can put his hands on the ball, or I guess touch the ball at all, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to go back to number 17 right now, wherever he is on the court.
Yeah. If you're a Matadors fan, you want to see as many sets go to Vanderbeek as possible. You know, throw in a couple of quick attacks here and there, but that doesn't help the cause.
I'm curious where they opted to swap Patrice out there. I think Patrice just contributes a little bit more, and his serve looks real good. So tough miss there from Gilberto, but you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Eddie Mushkian had a missed contact last time. Definitely down to get aggressive this time, though. Great serve. High swing, no touch there from Serrano. And that's an 8-5 lead. We see Southern Exposure so far showing a little bit more depth in their fuel tanks, ready to go the distance here.
Yeah, technical timeout at 8 since this is game to 15, right? There'll be no more technical timeouts from this point on. Obviously, we're not switching sides like we normally would to in you know, a normal perfect world. But coaching staffs, I believe, still both have 2 timeouts though.
Yep.
But with a 3-point lead now by Southern Exposure, that's a nice cushion. Matadors really need to come out of this technical timeout with a good, solid game plan on what they want to run to get a side out right now.
Absolutely, and as we starting to close up the night, you know, as this match is coming to an end, just a reminder, we're going to have another event in just a couple short weeks. So make sure to follow the NVA on Instagram, check out nvausa.com, and download the app, because we're going to be back on May 28th in Atlantic City as all 10 teams will make their return for another great 3-day weekend full of matches and exciting gameplay. You do not want to miss out. Mushkian catches the tape, and it's going to be a tough one to pull out. Step close from Vanderbeek. Takes Sullivan out, and Gomez is going to lay one up here for the outside. Dug by Meza. Bumps it back, and that's a tip over the top, dug by Gomez. Kept alive by Hubbard Neal. Free balled over by Gershfeld. And a middle tip once again, and that one's going to find its court. Brent Massetti. He's been using that shot all night, sees the off blocker helping out there and knows when to go to the side. Great point contribution. Hubbard Neal all over the court over there trying to save some points, just cannot quite find that one up.
Yeah, we haven't said his name very much in this 5th set yet offensively. He just now came into the front row, so look for him to contribute there as well. They're going to need him and his shoulder here.
And like clockwork, we see him take that swing with the high snap, breaks the wrist, just goes down the line. Vanderbeek uncharacteristically unable to come up with a dig.
Yeah, a little bit of an off-speeder, sort of had a funny little contact with it, I think on purpose, and it was a nice choice because I don't think that set was really right in his wheelhouse.
Totally agree with that.
Sort of caught Vanderbeek off guard a little bit as he is now wiping the floor.
When you're the one responsible for you know, getting half the floor wet, I think they just hand you the mop to clean it up yourself.
Yeah, especially 20 minutes after 9 on Sunday night. You want it done right, you do it yourself.
Good pass by Meza. High swing, Serrano looks for it, but no touch found. That's a good swing, just doesn't quite go his way.
Unfortunate hitting error, a bit of a backbreaker. Here comes Isaac in. Good call, I think. I like this substitution right now. Get Isaac back in, even if it's just for 1 or 2 rotations to see if we can kind of create some momentum. Get the big plays on your side.
Lurich pounds that one home. Well passed, and there's that slide return. And we wanted a reason to say Tyler Hubbard Neal's name. And there it is, one-on-one. Shuts down Brent Massetti. Last time caught him a little bit by surprise, but that one was no surprise at all.
Tyler Hubbard Neal, which is a complete clamp stuff down on Massetti. Just that, Massetti barely even got a chance to hit the ball because Hubbard just had both of his hands
Oh.
around the ball before Massetti could even hit it.
It was clinical.
Wow.
That
was
is
a
what you want to see.
Textbook block right there.
And it couldn't come at a better time for Southern Exposure, because that going as a big swing right there, if that goes 10-7 instead of 11-6, we've already seen the Matadors within 4 is the Matadors within striking range.
Yeah. And it's always a good time for a big stuff down block in the 5th set.
Oh yeah. Tim Lurich having what has to be a career night.
Absolutely. He's having himself a night for sure from every department, from the end line, offensively, blocking-wise, creating overpasses with his serve. I mean, just finding ways to contribute.
And that's an overpass off of Mario Meza, who's not had any issues in serve receive tonight. So to find that one there doesn't get any better. Would not be surprised if we see a timeout shortly here if they can't get out of this. Dump over the top. Now Lurich finds the dig. Hubbard Neal step close. Gershfeld off, but swings a high snap. Attempted tip from Brent Massetti, and the middle blockers from Southern Exposure are just an absolute force right now.
Yeah, that almost looked like that was a 3-man block on a middle attack. But Southern Exposure really shutting the door right now on the Matadors with their blocking defense.
Oh, this one's going tight once again. Just gets to the plane of the net, and that is as disciplined as it comes. Derek Sullivan waits, finds his time to strike, and for the 3rd time this set, takes a questionably tight ball and strikes precisely.
Yeah.
This is match point, 14-6. Southern Exposure are ready to go home with a 2nd match win. Good pass, Vanderbeek is the option, swings it wide, and Southern Exposure grinds out a win in a nail-biter here in the 5th set. What an absolute pleasure to watch and bring our Event 1 to an end.
Whew. Man, unfortunate hitting error there by Vanderbeek, kind of going a little too hard on that one, I think. But, man, give credit to where credit's due. Southern Exposure played a great match. Matadors, trying to find that emotion. Some good camaraderie here.
That was
what a finish to weekend number 1 in this 2021 series.
Tim Lurich was all around lights out. That guy just produced. There was no game that he took off. I think he made every single serve, and I think he had over 20 attempts from the service line.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He went on run after run after run of serves, created pressure, off passes from the other side, just really well-rounded, consistently good serving from Lurich.
And on an extremely deserved award, we are gonna get a chance to hear from number 8 himself. Victoria, what do you got with Tim Lurich?
Thanks, Nick. I'm here with Tim. Tim, 8 for 16 kills tonight, batting .500 along with 6 blocks. What a great team win by you with Southern Exposure against the Matadors. What does this mean to you?
It was a great team win. It took a lot of effort. We started slow in the first. They started really strong. But we really just came together and we played our game. We worked together. We found our strengths and we rolled with them.
Defense was battling back and forth the entire match. In the last set, set 5, how did you guys pull away?
We just remembered to breathe and be calm. We all know we can dig. We had to trust each other. Our libero, Johnny, is everywhere. Our outsides can all play defense. We just had to remember defense first. We'll have plenty of opportunity to swing and hit the ball hard, so that's all we did.
Tim, what does it mean to you to get this win opening weekend with the NVA?
Everything. I mean, we came into this and I think a lot of people thought we were the underdog. We didn't perform as well as we wanted to in Utah, but we made some changes and we really brought it back down to the basics and just played volleyball. That's really simple as that.
Congratulations. Nick?
You know, we love to say that volleyball is one of those sports that you don't require as much stamina. Some shorter points, you get chances to breathe. Tim being as out of breath as he is right there is completely warranted, because if you've ever played middle blocker in a high-intensity match, it will absolutely burn you out. And Tim Lurich, leaps and bounds, was unrattleable. Service line, attack line, blocking moves. The man did it all.
Yeah, and it's good to see the rest of his teams come over and congratulate him as well. They realize what he did to help that team win that match right there, and they're giving him some good props for it.
And it's so well deserved. But that is going to do it from us, from all of the staff, from all of our volunteers, from everybody here at the Pierce Sports Center, and everyone working with the NVA. We want to thank you, our fans, for tuning in all weekend long. Had a little bit of technical difficulties to start the weekend off, but couldn't be more proud in the way we finished. Thank you guys so much. We will see you back here May 28th. Make sure to tune in. And as you saw, so many teams performing here this weekend. Check out their social medias. Get a part of their story. You're going to follow their trainings in the off season. Become a fan. Get involved, because the NVA isn't going anywhere. Don't miss out, and we'll see you guys next time.